What's up, everybody? It's your boy Cam. This is Operation WISEDOME. Everybody unmute and say, "What's up, world?"
What's
What
up,
up, world?
What's
world?
up, world?
What's up,
What's up,
world?
world?
What's up, Americas?
Yeah, what's up, Americans? You did?
Oh, my broskies.
Troy, do you
America.
got it? Troy, do you got it pulled up again? The American quote?
I've had it up all fucking day, man.
Okay, do you have it up? Are you gonna read it for us? You're gonna be our guy, bro. You're gonna be our guy. You ready?
No, I'm not ready.
You're not ready. Oh my God, you're dropping the ball already, Troy. Come on, TG.
Man.
Come on,
Keep it
Grove
short,
status.
ready.
Come on, Grove
Keep
Street.
it ready all day.
Come on, keep it Grove, man. What's up? What's
I go
going
over
down,
here
bro?
to the Prejudice section of the Discord and grab it.
You ready? You still ain't ready.
Yeah, I'm
huh?
ready. I'm ready. I'm
Okay,
ready.
okay. Everybody,
I
please
should have it
listen to Troy.
memorized by now, man.
Yeah, you should. You definitely should. I hold you to that. Everybody, please listen to Troy and understand how important it is to be an American. Please go ahead, Troy.
I am an American is a challenge to the highest ideals and aspirations of mankind, to self-sacrifice and devotion, to loyalty and patriotism, to joyful work and to courageous achievement, to magnanimity, very important word, and charity to all, and malice to none, as we seek to uphold and perpetuate the principles of our great republic.
So important, man.
Republic,
So
not
important.
democracy.
So importante.
And
Yeah.
so it is.
Okay, so I don't know if y'all got the email or not. Let me see what the email says because I broke it down what we're gonna be going over today. Tonight's gonna be over James's 0% information. So that's one aspect. I was talking to this guy named James Lurie. Shout out, James, if you're in here. I don't know if you are. If you ain't, I don't know. We'll see. But we had a meeting today, and in this meeting, it was so weird because Sunday I had a conversation with Erica. Erica's tripping out. She's going and trying to get involved with this other guy too. And I'm like, okay, well, when I'm able to get the money, I'll get this other thing too from Avery at the 0%. And then the next day, this guy gives me everything in relation to Avery at the 0%. So that same $13,000 that I thought I would have to pay when I win my Hood River or whenever I could get the money, it just literally got landed to all of us for free. And everybody's going to get access to that tonight. And I'm giving it all of you for free. So if anybody
my
like
gosh,
me
that's
or
amazing.
anybody else wants to sit here and question the citizenship, they can dive into it, right? Instead
yeah.
of just maybe leaning on Cameron's opinions, you can go into it yourself and see if you can help and benefit others in this process, right? Oh, excuse me. Let me turn that off. Sorry, guys. So we'll be going into some of that just because I know what's going on with the structure of everything there. As far as his program is concerned, he's got it to where it's like freshman, junior, sophomore, senior type vibe. And with that being said, yeah, so I want to give everybody that for free. I ain't holding nothing back. You know about me. Give it to me and I'm giving it away, baby. And so what I think was by giving it away freely, everybody's going to start diving in, and then we can start coming together and figuring out all of the deeper aspects of what I've wanted to present to y'all, but just hadn't yet because I didn't have it. Now I have it. So now we can go through it. So that's going to be something really cool tonight that I think is going to be amazing. Let's see what else. I wanted to go through Sarah's situation on new, fresh information as far as her being called a sovereign citizen on an order and how that being called a sovereign citizen on an order is very drastic and can definitely change any situation that you're in. If you're getting labeled a sovereign citizen, which is in a derogatory manner in the courtroom, and they are linking you to a terroristic organization or affiliation in some sort, that is huge prejudice and bias in which will not stand in court, and that judge must be recused and will be recused. There is no doubt about that. Then the next aspect that I want to go into is development in my civil case, and then just more developments on the back end that we're doing with some immigration issues right now. So one of our members has a wife who has, in common law, they've been married for 4 years now. She's been in America for 8 years, and they're having immigration issues. She is locked in Mexico and cannot come back home. And so we'll kind of briefly touch base on that. And then what's up, Kurt? My boy Kurt in this thing. We had a good couple conversations over the past couple days. Man, it was great talking to you, Kurt, and shouting you out like that. Kurt's a great guy. He's great conversation. Hour and a half went by like it was 15 minutes. And we're doing some commercial actions there. So we don't just work on the right to travel, we're no driver's license, but we also are working on the back end with commercial drivers and their aspects of the tickets that they get as well. So we're on both fronts, y'all, all over in between. You ain't gonna catch us out not being somewhere doing something. But first and foremost, y'all already know how it goes. I want to get any kind of introductions. If anybody is in here for the first time,
Yeah, that's me, brother. First
all right.
timer.
First timer, Kurt.
Virgin.
Come on, Kurt.
Now
You're already
de-virginized.
unmuted, so yeah. Why don't you just introduce yourself? Tell us about where you're from. Take about a minute, maybe maximum two, and tell us how you found us, what you're in here, and just what's going on.
From Ohio, run out to Washington, pick up produce, bring it back to us because we're still hungry. Yeah, go out there about every other week. I saw Cam. How did I see you? I was telling my wife this today. It was on when you were working for your people out there and you moved out there, and then that guy ended up screwing you over, which got me, you trapped me then. So I started talking to you. You went into this new WISEDOME thing, and I fell right into it. So I was ready.
Kurt, welcome, brother. It's an honor to have you here with us.
Yeah,
Kurt's a
an
great
honor
guy.
to be here.
Yeah, well, we're honored to have you, bro, as one of us, right? Because I am you and we are us, and we are all part of
That's
the great
right.
I am. Everybody, welcome Kurt to the Wise Dome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Glad to have you.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Kurt.
Welcome.
All right, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure, for sure.
I'm in Ohio.
Good to be among like minds.
Most definitely, bro.
It is, yeah.
Check it out. Who else is here for the first time? Bing Bang, come up and say hello. All of you are.
Hello.
A lot of veterans.
Who
We're
else?
all a bunch of vets, big dog.
Okay, all
Yeah.
the vets are in this
Thank
thing.
you. Thank
Nobody
you for
knew.
your service.
Nobody's new. You're telling me all of you are. Okay, I guess we're moving on. That's amazing. Wow.
I'm the
Look at
only
all of
one.
you.
I
All
must
right.
have been the only one.
This is
I
my
guess so.
second time.
Welcome to the family, big dog.
What's up, baby? All
Yeah,
right.
welcome to the family.
Yeah, for real. Okay, so then if that's the case and we don't got nothing else to do right now, let's get right on into it.
Hey, Cam,
Let-
just first,
Go ahead, Papa.
real quick question. Whatever happened to Erica?
Erica she updated everybody. Did you not see what was going on?
I'm old, so
Okay.
there was a couple times I couldn't get on, remember?
Yes, sir. Well, she updated everybody in Discord this week, and the Discord be moving. So if you missed it, you missed it because Discord's active. But
Well,
yes,
I'm not getting any, no, I'm getting no notifications, Cam. Yeah, I used to get notifications. Now I'm not. I checked all my settings and I'm still not getting any notifications. So when I get on there, I'm spending about an hour to get caught up.
yeah, I'm telling you, bro, it's moving, bro.
Yeah,
We
you
be
get
moving.
your notifications turned on, bro. You'll be dinging every three seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, you won't want them on. You won't want them on. Yeah. So be happy that you have them off. It's a good thing.
You set them on individual. You got to set them on individual channels and turn them on manual.
I just turn them all the way off and show up when I can. I mean,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's what-
so. Okay, it is popping off. That is true. So, let's see. We're getting straight into it tonight. This is cool. All right, I love it.
We could quickly talk about Sydney's pullover today.
Okay.
Like 2
yeah.
minutes.
Okay, if you want to do that, go ahead.
What? Oh, you want to say it? Go ahead.
But I thought that you would be able to speak. Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
Okay, so I didn't know if we could be heard or not, but I'm Sydney.
Hi, Sydney.
And hi. I got pulled over today and I had this intuition last night that I was going to be pulled over. I didn't put it into the world, but I just knew. And so Matthew and I have been working on, Matthew Quinton and I have been working on something with the car script.
Eddie Craig's.
In Eddie Craig's script, but a little bit it's like a
Modified version.
modified version.
It's
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah, it's a little bit less of all the things and just like
A
more
little
to the
less
point.
Eddie. A little less Eddie.
Yeah.
Hey
Less
guys, by
Eddie,
the
more
way,
us.
Kate and I are listening, but we can't talk because we're on our motorcycles, so we're listening.
Oh, badass.
Okay.
Have fun, bro. Be safe.
Hi,
Thanks,
Quentin.
will do.
I have your spaghetti.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so either way, yeah, so I would decided to go to the post office, and by the time I got like 5 minutes this morning at like almost 9, I saw 5 police officers getting like pulling people over, and I was like, I already knew that I was gonna get pulled over today, so I came back home and I decided to get the modified Eddie Craig script and grabbed that. I didn't want to wake up Matthew since he sleeps a pretty good, a decent amount, and so
Plowing through there. Oh,
I
sorry.
already knew that I was gonna get pulled over, and then so like 3 minutes into my drive, I got pulled over for my
Private tag.
my private tag, but
Notice
what's
plate.
it called? Notice plate. And so I decided to go around the block, and then that's when they pulled me over, and I called Matthew immediately. I was getting Quentin, so if you know Quentin, I was trying to get his spaghetti sauce like from Aldi's, but I got stopped, on the way because I make his food sometimes. I do uh his meal preps. And so anyway, I got pulled over, and there was only one, but then within a minute and 30 seconds there was another police officer, and then thankfully I called Matthew, and he like rolled up out of bed, and he was able to run to the place that I got pulled over at because I was trying to get home because I only made it a few blocks, and I was like, oh no, they're gonna get me. And so they did. But he was probably like 5 minutes away, but he's a fast runner. He did great. I'm so proud of him. But he got there at the nick of time because these 2 police officers started grabbing at my door handles. I didn't even realize that there were 2 police officers trying to get me, but they never asked for my name. They just kept saying, "What's your identification? Give me your identification." And I kept letting them know that I'm just a traveler. I'm not for commerce or hire. Like I'm not for hire. And I kept like letting them know that I don't know much. And it is my automobile. I have a whole video that Matthew was able to record, thankfully. And I also, from Quentin, he gave me a a link for a recorder, and so I got a recorder as well. So I got it all on recording. And Matthew is a video photographer as well, so we're gonna like link all the like audio and stuff up so that we can.
Look up my
Oh my
video and your
God,
audio
amazing.
together.
Can't
We'll-
wait,
Yeah.
I'll
guys.
send it to you.
Yeah, so that we can like get all the things and stuff, but it's I mean, it's already so late. He's like doing work right now, but either way,
I don't know
we're
who's
gonna
more
have it.
excited, you or
Tell them the main
Cam
point.
was
We
last week,
talked them
man.
down from saying they were going to arrest her down to they
Yeah.
just let her go.
Yeah, so they started pulling up my door handles, and they were like, I don't want to, what they say, don't make me break your window,
Yeah, don't make me
ma'am.
do this to you.
And,
Yeah, that's a
I was
great.
like, is that a threat? Because it sounds like a threat to me. And they were like, "Oh no, I'm asking you." And I was like, "Wait, you're asking me to break my door handles, or my door, my window?
Yeah,
Because that doesn't sound like an ask. That sounds like no one would like that."
right.
So they
Cops
were
do
very
all the
aggressive,
time.
and so and so I just kept saying, "Is that a threat?" Because it sounded like it. And then Matthew came, and they were like so aggressive with him, and then they pretty much like decided to talk to him more than me. It's fine. It's fine.
That's
But
good.
no, it's
Matt
great.
took it over. What's up?
Yeah.
Shout out
Yeah,
Matt.
yeah. And he was my knight in shining armor today.
Captain
Uh
Sovereign. Captain Sovereign. He's our
Captain
hero.
yeah.
Sovereign.
Yeah, he did awesome. And I so like what I could have done better was like keep my cool, like cuz when I know that what is right, then I kind of like when I get when I know what's right, I get a little bit like,
Empowered.
yeah, and so I'm like, this is right. So I stand up for what's right. And it's maybe too much. And like Matthew is like, he knows what's right, but he's like cool, calm, collected, like a cucumber, you know. He's like, oh, cool. And I'm like, don't do this, cause I don't know what, but you
Mess
know.
around and find out.
Yeah, kind of like that. But I'm only 4'11", and now they know that, even though. So like they asked me to identify myself, and like I was like looking at Matthew. I was like from outside my window. They didn't let him come up to my window or anything. They were like, "You're impeding on an investigation," and
That's what
like
I
I
thought.
Wait,
and
what was
I'm
the
not.
investigation of
Yeah,
whether
exactly.
whether you
let him
should have
know.
your window broken or not broken,
Right.
or
And
like
then Matthew, he was like, "Well, who's the injured party?" And they said it was me.
They literally said it was her.
And I'm
We got
like,
that recorded.
hold on.
wait, are you
So,
kidding me? No way.
not even. I
Got
know.
that on
And then
tape,
after we
bro?
laughed about it, they said, "Oh, society
That's
is the injured
amazing.
party."
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And so
That's
we're like,
incredible.
well, like, if I'm the injured party, then like we should be suing you then. Like, give me, I need to citate you or whatever, you know, like give you the citation,
You
not the
were
other
the
way
injured.
around.
You were the injured
Nice.
party in that
What-
situation.
Right.
Yeah,
And
what they
so
meant
like,
was
Really?
you're about to be the injured party.
yeah, oh yeah,
Can I
they
borrow
were,
your ticket-book?
it was
What's
So,
scary because
crazy?
like,
What's crazy?
so
Wait, think
Sydney,
about this. Wait. Think about this. What that means
I
is
wish
they're
we could do.
literally stating on the record that they
Yes,
hurt
that
her.
they were the problem, not me.
That's what they
That
said. They
they,
literally
yeah,
put it on the record
exactly.
that, well, you're the injured party because,
Exactly. That's what
yes.
Matthew was so
Yeah,
excited. He was like, "Oh, we got that on record."
that's it. That's all
Like
you need right
actually,
there.
wow, I didn't know that part. That's
Irreparable harm.
amazing.
Beautiful.
yeah, yeah. So and they said that, and I'm like, "Whoa, that's crazy." Because at first I was like, because I don't know all the things. Like I'm pretty new to this, and so I was like, "I'm the injured party," because I was confused because like I thought like whenever somebody pulled somebody over, then I was injuring somebody else. So when they were like, "Oh," when he asked who's the injured party and they said me, I was like, wait, I'm the injured party. Wait, hold on. And I was like, oh, if I'm the injured party, then you're the problem, not me. It was like all like a
That's
So,
awesome.
craziness.
I can't
Sydney,
wait to see.
Hmm.
Sydney,
We need
tell
our
them.
own ticket books?
I was gonna say, so tell them when you tried to identify yourself, because you did tell them your name. Tell them what happened after that.
Yeah, okay, so it took 6.5 minutes for them to be like, they just kept saying, where's your ID? Where's your ID? Give me an identification card. Give me an identification card. What's your ID? Blah, blah. Give it to me. And I was like, I don't need to identify myself. I was like, I am not in commerce or for hire. I am just a traveler, because they kept being like, oh, you're driving in a vehicle, right? And I was like, I'm in an automobile. Period. And so I was proud of myself. And then they were like, okay, sit tight. And then they like came back or
Yeah,
whatever.
sit tight. Sit tight
Yeah.
is
I was
always
like,
the
I'll sit
phrase.
tight.
Sit tight.
Yeah. And so I did that, and then they came back and they were like, okay, I'm gonna ask one more time. What, give me your ID. And I was like, or what? Like this feels like a threat to me. And then they were like, oh, this isn't a threat. I'm just asking. And I was like,
What?
asking what? You're asking for my ID again? And then they're like, I'll ask one more time. They said one more time. And I was like, okay. And I was like, I don't need to, because it's an unlawful act, because I am not for hire. I'm not for
Heck
commerce.
yeah.
I'm a traveler. And so then like I just kept like looking to Matthew, like, am I doing okay? But I had to hang up on his phone because he was recording as well on his phone. And so if you record, by the way, guys, if you record while you're on the phone, it doesn't do any audio. So that's a thing that we got to remember, right? So you have to always have your recorder device. Thankfully, I did, so we got to sync that up. But okay, Quentin, you said something and I
Yeah.
totally got off track there.
So basically, what did they said that they couldn't find you in
Yeah.
the system, and then what?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I spelled out my whole name, even though it was unlawful. They were like, "What's your name?" And I was like, that was when like Matthew had to hang up the phone, and I was like, okay, I guess I have to like tell them. So I was like, I spelled my whole name, Sydney Taylor Leslie, my whole full first, middle, last name, spelled everything out, every letter. Okay. And then they came back a couple minutes later. They like whispered, in their situations and like held their chests out and, all being all tough and things.
The cop shit.
Yeah, all the things they do. And then they came back and they were like, this is insufficient. We need your social security number. And I was like, what?
I've never heard of that before.
I was like, no, you can't have that.
Did you?
I don't think I've ever had one ask me for a social, but
They asked me that. They were like,
oh yeah,
it's an insufficient. It's an insufficient identification, and I gave them my first, my middle, my last name, and I have a pretty unusual first, middle, and last name. Let you know. And then I gave them my birthday, and then also I gave them my and then I gave them my address as well. That's on file.
Put a PO box.
Yeah, I put a PO box.
Hey, can I say something to you?
Mhm.
Look up your state code of what it tells you that you have to give them, and you will find out that it is exactly that. It is only your name, your address, and your birthday, not your telephone number, not your social security number, not your email address.
I'm
gotta
so
give 'em a
glad
butthole
that you
print.
said that, because I stopped after they asked me for my social and my phone number. I was like, I stuttered a little bit on my phone number because I said 5, and I was like, wait, why do you need that? Because I don't think that you need that. I just gave you all of the identifying factors that you need or whatever you want, other than my identification ID. And I do have a driver's license.
Like, have any of
unfortunately,
you guys ever heard of that though before? They say it's insufficient, and then they say social security. Like, I've never heard of that.
Yeah,
That's how they do the
yeah,
bonds.
they did it to me in Cali. They did it to me in Cali too. But they never
Why
found
can't you
that
just put
ticket.
this on there?
that's identity theft.
I'm pretty sure
That's
it's
what
just
I'm
name and
saying.
Birthday. You don't have to give them an address. Name and birthday is all you got to give them.
Right, and I hesitated as well on the whole PO box, but thankfully I have a PO box, so I was just like, whatever.
Yeah,
I
but there's
kind of
another
folded on that one, but
there's another thing that you should also remember, that I'm from Washington State, okay, and it shows when you actually read that code of what you're supposed to give them, the name, address, and birth date, and then it gives you like 4 other things that you can do. And the driver's license is like item number D. So in your state where you're from, it might say the same thing. I would go with the first thing that it says to do. And also remember that you're a traveler and you're not in commerce. So that motor vehicle code, where they're getting all that information, has nothing to do applying to you.
it would not apply to me. And that's what I kept continuously saying. I'm like, and then they kept saying that this. Sorry, Matthew's trying to figure out some things. Okay, they kept telling, the police officers kept saying that this is a legal, lawful stop, and then or a legal traffic stop. And so I went back to the Black Laws Dictionary, looked up traffic, and don't you know that traffic means commerce or any type of selling or buying or any of the things that are for commerce. I wasn't doing none of that. And I tried to tell them many, many times. They didn't care. They're about to arrest me if Matthew didn't come save me.
That shows you how ignorant they are.
Hey.
Actually, the term I like
They're
to use
so dumb.
Hey, the trick is look it up everything. That is the trick. Do your research and look up all the definitions, because wordplay is the biggest kicker on everything. And I like hearing the fact that you looked up in Black's Law. Awesome job.
Hey, damn, Matthew, where were you when I got pulled over? I could have used a Matthew twice.
Can I throw one thing? Can I throw one thing at y'all in relation to that? I'm in Central Oregon, and I got the heads up through somehow I got a notification letting me know that they were going to be running for the last 3 days. they've been running a traffic blitz in my area, and they brought in people from all the departments, and they had people come in from other to boost them up, and they've just been hitting mega stops. Like one cop had 200 stops in one day. They're just all traffic, just trying to hit people for whatever. And I was thinking like, oh, maybe right before the end of the fiscal quarter, you know, just like taxes. So it could have been like if you're like, oh, I had a dream, and then I saw 5 cops pulling people over. Like, I don't know. To me, I just thought it was something. I'm like, oh, that's something to be aware of. Like when they let you know, hey, we're going to be running high alert, just popping everybody for everything, and especially in our community, you know.
Hey, who's this speaking?
Yeah.
Who's that you were just speaking from Oregon?
That's Joe Miller.
Hey, Joe, get with me when maybe this meeting is over, and I will give you documents, a loopholes in motor vehicle code.
I'll link up with you, Mitch. I'm in the Discord pretty active, so yeah, I just wanted to when the gal was saying that, I don't know where they are, but I bet they do this all over the place, you know.
Well, it just goes to show you that we're all thinking alike, and this is not something that's made up. It's actually true. Why would a Chief Justice Tolman from the early 1900s to the late 1938s come up and say and want to back our rights as a traveler? Cameron knows who he is.
Oh yeah, we're
That's
with
a
you.
Supreme Court judge in Washington State.
Yeah,
Let's
we're
get it
right there
on.
with you. Yeah.
Back to the docket, please.
Says it in the code.
Okay,
Hey,
back to the docket.
Can I say one thing, Cam?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. Lord have mercy. You know, when we're on the Discord and we can see it, and this would make me think about it when you're posting all that stuff on my thing. Somebody from the legal system or cops that they wanted to could buy to get in the Discord for $9 and review all that stuff we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Can't that be a problem? And they're seeing how we're doing our arguments
No,
and where we're coming from.
No,
Yeah, dude, they're gonna see it in court. I mean,
Well, and that's fine.
plus it's true.
All they're going to see is facts.
Yeah,
all they're going to see is facts.
They're seeing how we're working it out. It's like the enemy seeing behind the lines. You know what I mean?
The
truth, and you're saying, "Oh, this is what they're going to do."
The truth needs to come out to everybody across.
Yeah,
I agree. I'm not saying.
That's why we do what we do. We're not worried about it.
Right. Hey, maybe this Discord makes everybody back up. Makes all the agencies back up because we're mobilizing. We're mobilizing.
We should be teaching this.
I agree. I agree with coming.
Yeah, straight up in school. Hell yeah.
I'm just saying when the enemy knows your game plan, you got nothing to hide.
I know what you're saying, sir. I know what you're trying to say.
Anything you submit, they're gonna see, and whether they know it.
I understand when you submit it, but I'm talking about just the behind the scenes, or we're using AI, and that doesn't even matter. Everybody's using AI now, but they're seeing how we're collaborating. And it would just seem like if we had an invite behind that paywall, you know, from like Cam or probably would be from the administrator, for them to also, if they're in a legal profession or something like that. I don't know. It was just
there is an invite to it though.
And you can also have your channel locked too, if you're worried about your own stuff.
Wouldn't it be cool to have a lawyer, a prosecuting attorney, and a sheriff as part of the WISEDOME group?
Yeah.
Hey, we got freedom. Hey, we got freedom of speech and freedom to gather and peacefully assemble. That's all we're doing.
And we're not conspiring either.
I'm not saying we're doing anything illegal. I'm just saying
they can't come against it. It's too strong.
There are actually some cops out there that agree with the stuff that we do.
Yeah, they do.
I believe that.
Not all cops are bad
we're
cops.
just trying to understand
not all cops are there to break the laws.
And apply them as
The reality is
fact, man.
Well, I agree totally.
Yeah, the reality is that we're all on the record all the time, whether we fucking like
Yeah,
it or not.
exactly.
So
Straight up.
Well, and
But it's just
essentially,
like
we're in
her. She
we're
got
in a
pulled
study.
over.
This is
We're
a
on
study
God's
group
record.
sharing resources. You know.
Right.
Okay.
To
So
the
it's like
info.
yeah.
To the
All right.
info.
Hey, I'm putting y'all on mute. Y'all
Oh, after we all stop talking.
mute all. How do you push
All right,
this
buddy.
button?
Thanks.
Mute all. All right, are y'all ready? Okay, I'm trying to give y'all some badass info here. Another thing what I wanted to update right now is this is what Sarah got when she went to arraignment. Now, Sarah didn't get to really challenge jurisdiction or anything like that. Like, she didn't even get the chance to really do it. It was arraignment, and they didn't arraign shit. What they did do is they did an order to set or reset. Right here, you can see that the hearing is scheduled for 3/28 now. It's for apparently a jurisdiction hearing and at Black Hawk County Courthouse. And it says here that the defendant is a sovereign citizen and is challenging the jurisdiction of this court. Well, what I want to do real quick then is Ralph's had his hand up for a second, so I'm going to come down and let people unmute. And then we'll get into why y'all think that cannot be, why that's not allowed on an order to reset and what we could do about that. Go ahead, Ralph.
I had an arraignment, but because I didn't get my claim until Friday, and my court was on Tuesday, the judge gave me a new arraignment, and I'm going in as appropriate persona sui juris. He knew me because he's seen me in his court helping other people get their cases dismissed. So he's well versed in my knowledge. So, but I've got a killer territorial jurisdiction challenge that goes back to the creation of our country, and it ties to the land patent, and it shuts them down. And I'm glad you're finally learning the paperwork that I was talking about, Cameron. You're on the right path, brother.
Yeah, we're getting there, bro. Like I said, I've always stated that to me, Avery is the best, bro. I've never seen anybody deeper. I've done all the research. And when you get into actually the point of research where I do research, it's like I'm going directly at the Maryland UCC, the headquarters. I'm not going and, like I'm researching in the system to see what I can find in the system. It's different than going to somebody and saying, hey, tell me what you know.
Well,
I'm going directly to
the headquarters for the UCC is in New York. That's where I sent mine to.
Okay, well, apparently Maryland is the like headquarters. That's why you got all those UCC filings like the big Trump one, the 14 quadrillion. Apparently the headquarters for all the big monetary aspects is Maryland in and of itself. That's just what I've come across. I don't know. I could be correct. I don't know everything.
Yeah, that's new to me. I'll have to look into that. You know what I mean?
We'll figure that out. Yeah, we'll figure that out. But either way, when I did do the research in relation to that, what I found was all the attachments and assignments to the 14 quadrillion coming out of Avery camp. And I'm like, damn, bro, like, y'all over here working. But I was too busy doing my history thing. You know what I'm talking about? I was figuring out the America's known as wait, flop-a-lon. You know what I'm saying? Like, but now we're back. And now we got all the info presented and given to us freely, in which I can give freely to everybody else. It's such a blessing, bro, to be able to
I'm glad. I'm from my heart. I'm truly glad that you were able to access this freely. Told before, I did a non-disclosure. You know what I mean?
The information. You're skipping so bad, bro. It's all good though. I just wanted to imitate you. Yeah, it's all good. We're just having fun. So what I want to do.
Love you, brother.
I love you too. All right. So what I want to do is finish up with Sarah's situation real quick. But yeah, let's go over this. So when looking at Sarah's situation, it's the funniest because they call her a sovereign citizen. It's challenging the jurisdiction of this court. Right. So we probably was going to have a jurisdictional hearing until the judge put on paper and an order that defendant is a sovereign citizen. I don't know where Sarah said that she was a sovereign citizen, but that's not how this works. So we're going right off the bat with a we're going right off the bat with a recusal. Like, you gotta go. Okay, like, sorry, but you gotta go. We're doing a motion for a recusal and evidentiary hearing concerning the judicial prejudice and bias. Okay, you gotta go. Comes now the defendant Sarah, appearing in propria persona under the laws of the state of Iowa and the United States, and respectfully moves this honorable court for an evidentiary hearing concerning the disqualification and recusal of the presiding judge, the court. The defendant hereby asserts that the court has demonstrated impermissible bias and prejudice by labeling the defendant a sovereign citizen, thereby infringing on her constitutional rights to due process, a neutral tribunal, and the presumption of innocence. The defendant therefore seeks informal findings of fact and conclusions of law regarding whether such bias requires recusal and reassignment to a different judicial officer. In support of this motion, the defendant states as follows. 1. Constitutional due process. The 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution and Article 1, Section 9 of the Iowa Constitution each require a criminal defendant to be accorded a fair trial before a neutral, detached magistrate. You know what? I got to take this off real quick because I would rather, like, not have to have y'all all muted, but we just jumping all over each other. So I think y'all can unmute yourselves now, and we'll just kind of keep this structured again, but don't do too much, okay? Please. So, as the U.S. Supreme Court has observed, a fair trial in a fair tribunal is a basic requirement of due process. Even the appearance of bias calls into question the integrity of judicial proceedings. Was this beyond an appearance, or is this straight up just prejudice? Please, someone tell me.
Oh, it's prejudice. It's bias. Yeah.
100%. You put on a piece of paper an order that I'm a sovereign citizen. Okay, I'm not gonna step ahead. I'm gonna wait. Okay, so Iowa statutory and common law requirements. Under Iowa law, a judge must disqualify or recuse themselves, quote, when there is reasonable question of the judge's impartiality, unquote. That's coming straight out of State versus Millsap. State versus Millsap, okay? So then, in particular, Rule 51 and 211 of the Iowa Code of Judicial Conduct mandates disqualification, quote, in any proceeding in which the judge's impartiality might reasonably be questioned, unquote. Can it be reasonably questioned here?
Yes.
Yeah. Reasonably questioned.
Easy. Do we need to have evidence that she was biased?
You already have.
It's in the reset.
No, that's not what I asked. No, that's not what I asked. I said, do we need to have evidence that she was biased?
Oh, yeah.
Wait.
Yes.
No, you don't.
Why?
No, you do not. All you have to do is have a reasonable doubt that they are being impartial. It's not about, you don't have to prove shit. It's that if someone from the outside can reasonably state or see or look at it and be like, oh man, she's definitely not being fair. Just that thought alone, the question of it.
Cool. Oh, well, sure. But that question comes into play because of the reset document that they filed.
Exactly. That's the evidence. What I'm saying is you don't need evidence. But the next question was going to be, but do we have it? Clearly we do. Abundantly clear.
Hey, Cam, by profiling you and calling you a sovereign citizen also puts you in danger because according to the FBI, sovereign citizens are
Bingo! Wait, don't give it up. We're going to get there. We're getting there. So a judge is compelled to step aside if a personal bias or prejudice against a party prevents the even-handed administration of justice, which it clearly will. Federal law and committee recusal doctrine in the federal context underscores that justice must not only be fair, but must be perceived to be fair. Perceived, the perception. While committee typically concerns deference between jurisdiction, it similarly underlines the broad principle that no litigant should face a court predisposed against them. We already know that's happened.
Hey, so put that back on the screen?
Gotta go. Huh?
You gonna put that back on the screen?
What? Oh, my bad. It's not up?
Uh-uh.
Oh, my bad.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, my bad. Legal authorities on disqualification. Caperton versus A.T. Massey, Cole, 2009, holding that where a judge's interest or bias raises serious risk of actual bias, due process requires recusal. Gotta go. Sorry, you gotta go. You can't stick around. In regards to Murchison, in 1955, recognizing that fairness is best guaranteed by a judge who is both impartial and appears impartial. State versus Millsap, Iowa, 2005. Recusal is required. See, we ain't slaves, so we ain't really required to do nothing, but they are as public servants. And recusal is required where circumstances would lead a reasonable person to question the judge's impartiality. It's clearly there for everyone to see. Iowa Code, section 602.1606 and 602.6101, prescribing ethical duties of Iowa judges, including recusal, where partiality or prejudice is evident. 2. The factual background and basis for the bias. Prejudicial labeling as sovereign citizen on or about March 5th, 2025, in the court's order scheduling or resetting a hearing, the presiding judge identified the defendant as a sovereign citizen in a manner that implies extremist or terroristic affiliation. Bingo! Bring it in! Bring it in! You just said I'm involved with a terrorist group. Oh, what'd I do? This label, frequently attributed to individuals who espouse fringe ideologies, unjustly equates the defendant's legitimate constitutional challenges with subversive beliefs. The defendant disclaims any such extremism. I'm not out here motherfucking financially fraudulent people. Don't sit here and include me into some terroristic group. That ain't me. I'm an American. Well, what you talking about? That's right. Constitutional challenge with subversive beliefs. The defendant disclaims any such extremism, but the prejudicial
are inhabitants.
But the prejudicial reference in a court order effectively maligns the defendant and suggests predisposition or hostility. Conflation with extremism. Various federal entities, including the Federal Bureau of Investigation, have identified sovereign citizen groups as potential threats. By associating the defendant with such a classification, the court has, whether intentionally or not, cast the defendant in a light that is presumptively negative. Kessler and similar authorities highlight that once a defendant is correlated to pseudo-legal or terroristic movements, the risk of bias becomes pervasive. Can't even get it away from you. You can't wash it away. You can't get it off of you. You're just saturated in it. It's over with. The bias is so prevalent, the case must be thrown out. I can never succeed. It can never be fair. Contrary to the 1940 joint resolution, though, the May 3rd, 1940, I Am an American Day joint resolution underscores that an American citizen's sovereign status within our self-governing republic confers the highest responsibility of citizenship, not a fringe anti-government stance. By labeling the defendant a sovereign citizen in the modern prerogative sense, the court ignores the historically recognized dignity of citizenship as envisioned by that resolution. This transforms the rightful status of an American citizen into a condemnation, or judicial prejudice in written orders. A judge's public utterances or official writings that attach a stigmatizing label to a criminal defendant quasi-criminal defendant predispose the court against the defendant's arguments, especially those regarding jurisdiction or due process. The court's readiness to characterize the defendant as a sovereign citizen evidences a probable distrust or suspicion of the defendant's legal positions before even an evidentiary hearing has even occurred. Legal argument. The judge's partiality is reasonably questioned. Here we go. Let's break it down, Papa Bear. Let's show how it goes. A. Objective standard. Disqualification or recusal turns on whether a reasonable, well-informed observer would doubt the judge's impartiality. Here, the court's reference to the defendant with a label widely associated with dangerous legal posturing meets the threshold for a reasonable question of impartiality. Can you tell me different? I don't know, because there's two. I got 28 USC section 455A, Littleberg versus Health Services. And then we also got state versus Millsap again. And then B, prejudicial impact. The prejudicial effect of a judge's labeling is magnified in criminal proceedings where a defendant's liberty is at stake. Sarah, come on and unmute and tell me, is your liberty at stake here, Sarah? Sarah?
Yep.
Well, we can't hear you. You're going to have to say it a little louder.
Oh, can you hear me now?
I mean, you're a little far, but I mean, we heard you say yes, so we'll take it as that. Judicial neutrality.
I'd say hell yes.
That's what I'm saying. I was trying to get a little on them, you know, but it's okay. So judicial neutrality is particularly critical for adjudication of issues such as subject matter jurisdiction and constitutional compliance. A judge who has already labeled the defendant in a prerogative manner cannot be perceived as neutral in evaluating these claims. Am I right, Sean? Sean, am I right? Am I on the right track here, Sean? Guess he left.
Yeah,
Yes,
baby,
Sean.
let's go.
Okay, let's go then. 2, violation of procedure in substantive due process. A, procedural due process. The 14th Amendment's due process clause requires a fair hearing before an unbiased adjudicator. By presupposing the defendant's alignment with sovereign citizen ideology, the court has abandoned the neutral posture required of the judiciary, undermining my fundamental fairness. Don't I get that fundamental fairness? Am I not allowed that? Or do I right off the bat, in the first order, in the first arraignment, get told that now all of a sudden I'm a sovereign citizen just because I'm challenging the jurisdiction of everything that happened? I thought I got my passport. I thought I did my DOT correct. I got the private number on that bad boy. I'm actually not in commerce. I actually studied the law. I looked at y'all's municipal and your county codes to find out that these public roads actually, in the definition of it, states that it's open as a matter of right for public vehicular travel. So I mean, like, you're over here applying these state statutes which are really motor vehicle code for those in commerce, when the county and the municipal code that we were traveling through, that I was traveling through, states I got the right. So which one is it? Can we pick?
Right.
B, substantive due process.
Say, don't let them pick, Cam, because then you know which one they're gonna pick.
Well, that's why I think that's why you tell the court, hey, I need the court. I need the court to take judicial notice that I am actually operating, or should I say not operating whatsoever, but utilizing my sacred liberties according to the definitions of public road, both in the municipal and county in which we are here today. I mean, it doesn't get more basic than that. Because if you say, yeah, once y'all take judicial notice of this, you know, I'm not understanding how these statutes apply to me when the police agency's own code that they must abide by the city states that I have the right. I mean, it's literally like, The stigmatizing act of categorizing the defendant as a sovereign citizen implicates a liberty interest in one's good name and reputation. While that interest alone may not be the sole basis for relief, it can bolster the conclusion that the court has deviated from an even-handed process. 3, mandate of recusal under Iowa law. In Iowa, the judge, quote, shall disqualify himself or herself in any proceeding in which the judge's impartiality might reasonably be questioned, unquote. Because the court's explicit labeling is memorialized in official documentation, the risk is both heightened and immediate. Judicial recusal is therefore the proper recourse to preserve the integrity of these proceedings. Or you can go ahead and dismiss it in the interest of justice. Your choice. Request for evidentiary hearing on bias. So y'all wanting to have a jurisdictional hearing? Not anymore. We're getting to that evidentiary hearing first.
Didn't the judge just dishonor himself?
Oh, I mean, what other judges out there? Is there another judge there that's going to be able to hear your cause and case? I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's got to be another judge when that first one recuses them. Doesn't mean they're not going to be biased either, though.
Get them out of there too.
Prejudice alleged, the defendant respectfully requests that this court or a different judge assigned for this limited purpose conduct an evidentiary hearing. 2, receive testimony and documentary evidence. The court's March 5th order referencing the defendant as a sovereign citizen. Any communications or statements suggesting judicial predisposition and clarifications from the presiding judge regarding the basis for said labeling. 2, make findings of fact, whether the court's statements indicate prejudice or the appearance thereof, and whether the court can remain impartial given its commentary. It can't. 3, enter conclusions of law, whether the judge's comments contravene Iowa law and constitutional due process, whether recusal is mandatory under Rule 51-211 of the Iowa Code of Judicial Conduct, Caperton and Millsap. 4, grant appropriate relief, mandatory recusal. If the evidence shows bias or prejudice, the presiding judge must recuse, and another judicial officer should be assigned, if there is one. Striking prejudicial references, removing any mention of sovereign citizen in the record that equates the defendant with extremist or terroristic activity. Further measures, transfer of venue or other prophylactic steps to ensure a fair hearing before a neutral tribunal. Conclusions and prayer. Wherefore, in light of the judicial prejudice indicated by the court's reference that the defendant as a sovereign citizen, and in furtherance of the defendant's constitutional and statutory rights, defendant Sarah L. Hirschberger respectfully prays that this court, number one, grant an evidentiary hearing on the issue of judicial bias and prejudice wherein relevant facts can be fully developed. 2, require the presiding judge to show cause why recusal should not be ordered. 3, disqualify or recuse the judge upon a finding that impartiality is reasonably questioned by the judicial or prejudicial references. 4, order any language in prior or subsequent pleadings, orders, or document entries labeling the defendant as a sovereign citizen stricken or amended. 5, award such other and further relief as this court deems just and equitable to preserve the fair administration of justice, including reassignment to a different judge or venue if needed. Bing, bop, boom, pop, bam.
Yeah, I would like to say one thing about the document. It's very strong, but I didn't see anything in there that it said for the court to take notice.
Okay, so let me continue on. So what we got going on here is the aspect of, let's see. So we got that one going on, and that's just the, which one is that one? Okay, so we got the motion for recusal and evidentiary hearing. Then what Sarah about to do, about to pull in an affidavit on them boys now. You know what I'm talking about? So she's pulling in an affidavit on them too, making some rebuttals of jurisdiction and the presumption, request for judicial notice, okay? See, you got to slow it down a little bit, Mitch. Slow it down a little bit, Mitch. You're trying to step ahead too much, Papa Bear, but slow it down, man. Don't get ahead of yourself, you know. Slow it down.
I'm sorry.
Papa, just let us get there, all right? So, now this is going to be an affidavit that she's submitting, okay? And this is going to go in conjunction with everything on that evidentiary side, right? So this is the affidavit of Sarah L. Hirschberger, improper persona, being first duly sworn, depose, and do say. Personal knowledge and capacity. I'm over the age of 18 and competent to testify to the matter set forth herein. I have personal knowledge of each statement of the fact presented and submit this affidavit voluntarily under oath for the sole purpose of rebutting presumptions raised in this matter and requesting the court to take judicial notice of certain constitutional and statutory authorities. But real quick, what I want to do is I want to take a quick break because we're at the first hour in. I think I did notice someone come in. I think his name was Brandon Joe Williams, but I wanted to check real quick to see if I really did see him. I think that's the real true Brandon Joe Williams. I think, I don't know. Oh, it is. Look at this guy. King of Pickle Terrier in the building.
What's up, Daddy?
What's good,
What's
big
up?
dog?
What's up, all my pickle people?
Hey,
Thanks for joining us, man.
everybody, wait. All right, Brandon, I'm going to let you have the floor for a little bit, and I'll be right back. Y'all go ahead.
Hey, I got one question.
He just gives it to me. That's so funny. What's up, guys?
One question,
man.
Yeah.
What up?
You ready to get your window broken?
Yeah, bro. Let's break those windows, boy. Got that 15% tint, man. Looking for that crowbar, my brother.
Fuck that glass.
The tint is deadly. It hurts people. It's so bad.
If it's like 15%, maybe it'll get broken. But if it's like 18%, like we got to break them windows, brother.
Yeah, there's all kinds of guns in there, man. It's bad.
I'm down like
I got 0%, and they broke mine.
Or if it's just a young lady just standing on her rights, traveling freely.
Yeah, exactly right.
Brandon, are you going? Are you going without plates or something? Is that what that comment is for?
No, so me and Jaleel Bey and Cam and the other dude who was just up. Shit, I feel so bad. Remind me of her name?
I forget names.
Quentin. Like 9 million people's names I gotta remember. And Quentin, we all had a call the other night, and we were all talking together, And I started saying, like, you know, they're like, oh yeah, breaking windows and all this. I said, you know what, fuck it. I said, we're gonna start a campaign. It's gonna be called "Fuck These Windows." It's hashtag "Fuck These Windows," and we're gonna take the whole racist thing and we're gonna translate all the racism to the windows. So if they have like 5% tint, like they're okay, but if they have anything above like 15% tint, like they gotta go. We gotta break them. And I was like, instead of that, we're just gonna lean into it. We're gonna actually make a whole campaign on it. It's gonna be fucktosewindows.com or something like that. And I thought it was fucking hilarious, and Jaleel thought it was hilarious, and Cam thought it was hilarious, and Quentin thought it was hilarious. So
That's perfect.
that's like our new thing now. Fuck hashtag fuck those windows, bro.
Yeah, awesome.
Great
idea.
Start up a
I think
Anything to make it fun, dude. Anything to make it fun. They hate that.
I know. They want to make it
They've
so.
got no humor, man. They're like all broken inside.
No fun allowed.
No fun. No.
Shattering windows. Shattering windows has become like
fun,
their
though.
thing now, you know. But so like we got to take it back, you know.
I mean, they
Taking it back.
definitely get hyped up on that. Like,
I know.
I got to break a window today. That was
I know.
cool.
I know, right?
I think
Yeah,
you guys got a problem with authority.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll have to start up a.
There you go.
Well, you know, it says a lot
a
about what they're
shatterproof.
letting into the force. This means, you know what? Nothing happens unless there's policy. I'm sorry. Policy in police land, or however it's working out, essentially is tilted towards hiring this, towards fostering this, towards allowing this.
Yes.
If
Well,
this
it's
were
funny-
not allowed, the captains would be like, "What the living f," and it wouldn't happen. You know what I mean? So.
Well, it's funny you say that because I literally am sitting here and I just did a show with a police officer of 16 years, and he's actually a Pickletarian. He got a free car, and he's actually going to sue. He's actually working to try to get some traction with a local DA to bring criminal charges because when he signed the initial promissory note, he signed it in a special way, and then by the time it actually got to the banking institution, they changed his signature and they forged it to a different signature. So he's actually this has happened many times, by the way. He's not the only one. We've got a lot of these, and I'm
Change
starting
the
to
signature.
recommend.
How did you get a look at it, Brandon? How
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's got all the evidence. He got copies. Copies.
When I signed my mortgage documents, I mean, I've looked at what I got back. I saw no actual change signatures. I should get a,
No, this is like
like
completely different.
So where there was a
signature
before, it's like it's now obviously whited out somehow, and something else is over it, or.
Well, I don't know who
They
all
type
in
it
this.
in.
I don't know who all in this chat is familiar with like endorsements and negotiable instruments. I'm not going to get into all that, and I'm not going to take over.
Slightly.
Well, that's good. I'm not going to take over fucking Cam's channel with that shit right now.
No,
what?
but
Okay, good.
So they added
We're
endorsements,
getting
or
there.
they changed his actual.
No, they
signature?
removed all of his endorsements.
Jesus.
So they could add their own. Yeah.
So they
No,
made it
they
like
just-
a blanket endorsement.
They make it a blank endorsement. Yeah, they make it a blank endorsement. And he's a
Dude.
fucking cop. He's a fucking 16-year cop. And they did that to him. And he's like, what do I do about this? I was like, bro, that's a criminal case.
Yeah,
We've got
right.
another guy named David. He got 2 or 3 free cars. I think he's on his 3rd now. A brand new truck, a Dark Horse Mustang, and I think he was so excited he went out and got a. I think he just got a 3rd car. Cam.
Yeah, I've seen that new post on your site, bro. The officer that got all those cars.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, well, this is a different guy named David. He's not the officer. The officer I just did a show with, it's going to be coming out in like an hour. I'm just editing it right now.
We're shaking it up, man.
Yeah.
It's shaking up, man.
This guy, David, who's not the officer's name is Sonny. This other guy named David, he got the local DA to actually pick up his case, and they're already prosecuting. They already did formal investigations. They're already moving the case forward. Full-blown fraud case on endorsements for negotiable instruments.
That's
Full-blown.
fucking badass, bro.
Isn't that cool
Hell
as
yeah,
fuck?
that's badass. Hell yeah,
Fucking
dude. That's
crazy.
That's
fucking
sick.
crazy. And,
So,
and
yeah,
guess what?
Brandon,
Do you know
you
how
wanna
he
hear
got
some-
traction? Do you
Hey,
know how he
you
got
guys-
traction? Do you
Yes,
know how he
go
got
ahead.
traction?
How?
Super liberal DA. Not even kidding. Ultra lib DA. I was so shocked, bro. That's what it was. She's like, they can't be doing this and stomping on the little guy. And she's like this little liberal girl who has big fucking dreams as a DA. And she picked the fucking thing up and she wants heads on pikes, bro. I'm
Clowners.
like,
Oh,
oh my
that was her
God,
heel,
bro. I
That was
couldn't
her heel,
believe
man.
it. I
Hell
could
yeah.
not believe it, dude. I'm telling
Dude,
you
you
guys.
love a
Okay.
human spirit when it wakes
Hey, you
up.
want to hear something
Unbelievable.
cool?
It's so
Hey, so
good.
I just mailed something into the White House, and I'm out here in D.C. I made Trump write an executive order about injunctions on Friday because the complaint I talked about taking legal recourse and actions on my complaint, and basically he signed about suing America. He said if you sue us and you lose, we're coming after you. We're going to take all your money, any aspirations, any money you ever had. And then I stood out at the gate. He shut it down today. You couldn't even be out there. I had the White House press secretary come out and interview me and a couple other news reporters. But I got a 5-star passport, big dog. When I used part of your explanatory statement. And I used some James Lovett's too. But I got a 5-star passport.
Love it.
Hell yeah.
Love it. I got these bad boys coming out pretty soon. Dave Errett and I are just finishing them up. This is actually, I haven't even done a video on this. This is the second version.
Yeah. Those are cool as fuck.
All right.
And then we've added a few things to it.
Wait. Okay. Now, what I'm gonna do is what I want to do is I want to go over the aspect that we've locked it down today, right? Did we lock it down? Brandon, did we lock it down?
Yes. I'm just editing everything right now. And I just got off the call and I was just editing the website. I just added the location and I was thinking about doing a email blast, and I was going to ask you, but then I thought I would just show up and say hi to your thing because you invited me.
Yeah, most definitely. So this is Awaken Ranch in Austin, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me show everybody what's going on real quick. So we locked down this, should I say, super cute spot in Austin. And when I seen the Instagram and these pictures on their website actually don't do justice. You actually have to be following them and then watch their stories to kind of get the inside scoop of what's going on. It's beautiful. I can't wait to be here. In this facility right here, you can kind of see a little, these pictures go so fast. It's like, can you pause it? Oh, you can pause it. See here. Click on it at the right moment. Oh, there it is. So this is just a snippet of how relaxing it is. This is my vibe. You know, this is Texas vibes. I'm not one for big glam and all that. I'm this kind of guy here. These are my colors, like perfect my colors. So what I wear and everything and what I want to be around is natural tones. That's where the frequency rises the most. So with this open space, you can see all the trees. I think this is going to be a perfect venue for us. I think this is going to be a perfect spot. We'll have mics, we'll have chairs, we'll have bean bags, we'll have all kinds of shit for you to lay out. If you feel like you just need to lay out and absorb it all and you don't want to be in a chair, I'm going to try and figure out how we do all that. And I really think this is going to be a beautiful spot, and I'm really excited about this event and everybody that's coming. So if you don't know, you can get the tickets at piitp.com. And we're doing a 3-day event. Yes, this is me in my cowboy hat last summer. I like to, you know, open up the shirt and throw on the cowboy hat, you know. And we do have the address now in here. So if you're doing any kind of reservations or if anybody wants to pull together in relation to maybe like a big Airbnb, B&B or something like that. We have, of course, Brandon, y'all already know, but we're also got one, I don't know why I'm not. But we also got Stephen Harris is coming. So Stephen Harris from Mississippi, the Supreme Court precedent winner and achiever on qualified immunity. He's coming out as well. So we're going to be speaking to him. And then Jalil El-Bey. Jalil was in here. I don't know if he's in here anymore. I know I did accept him to come through, but he hasn't spoken. So I don't know if he's in here anymore. But he's going to be there as well. And I think he's got quite a bit to speak about. And all you got to do now is just get tickets directly through me. We did have a hiccup, so if you already bought some, you should already see the refunds. People are already seeing the refunds. So now we're eliminating all those taxes and fees. It's straight $300. And we don't have to go through the travesty of waiting till after the event is over with to finally get the payout, which is crazy. I've never heard of such a thing. But apparently that's how they do new people through Eventbrite. So we had to totally get rid of that. Brandon, do you have anything else you kind of want to say, or anybody else got anything they want to come up and share or talk about before we kind of move forward with everything else we got going on tonight?
We're only going to be selling probably about 100 maybe 105, 100 tickets, something like that. I kind of want to cap it at 100 for 2 reasons. First off, because the venue is not humongous. 100 people is a lot of fucking people anyways, but it's just not a humongous venue. Plus, we want to make sure we have enough time to get everyone like addressed in more of a personal level. I'll probably be around town for like another week or 2 after the event. So like, I just want to make sure to try to give at least everybody who has any sort of case or anything some time. We're not going to be able to necessarily like stick on one person for like many hours. If one person has like a really detailed case with like all sorts of filings and all sorts of crazy shit and depositions and everything else, we'll probably like bring that up in front of the class and kind of go through a case like that all together, because something like that is going to be really wild and super valuable. I may do that with some of my cases, but in general, if we're not running across those kinds of things, I'd like to cap the amount of time we give each person, but I'd like to try to give everyone some personal time from all of us on any of their situations or questions or personal situations. So I want to. So the event is only 100 people, but then also I don't want more than 100 because I don't want anyone to kind of feel left out. So that's kind of my thought on the process.
Yeah, beautifully said, and I agree. I'm in total agreement, and that's just due to the fact that me and Quentin have already spoken in relation to doing some really interactive things behind the scenes of just the event itself, right? So people are coming up from Dallas to do documentaries on their situations and just getting in depth so we can do more of a true cinematic aspect of feeling of what all of us are going through, because this is a true movement of all of us. This isn't one person. Like, y'all know how I operate, and it's truly each one of y'all's perspectives allows this to grow and flourish to where it's all of us. It's a nation again, all standing as united Americans with those values. Troy, could you read the values one more time, Papa? Could you read what it means to be an American, please, Troy? Mr. Grover, Grove Street, Troy. No, Grove, you need it printed right on the screen.
I need it memorized is what I fucking
go ahead.
need. I need it fucking. All right, wait, no. Fuck.
And this time you better say it with some cojones. I want some cojones in that statement.
Still having a hard time with that one word, man, but I'm gonna hit it down.
All right,
I am an American is a challenge to the highest ideals and aspirations of mankind, to sacrifice and devotion, to loyalty and patriotism, to joyful work and courageous achievement, to magnanimity and charity to all, and malice to none, as we seek to uphold and perpetuate the principles of our great republic.
Self-governing republic? Y'all better watch out, nigga. What? Nigga, what? What y'all meaning? Self-governing republic, bro. You ain't gonna take that away from me. You're not gonna govern me. I will govern myself, thank you. And until I hurt somebody else, mind your business. What that penny say, Brandon? Mind your business.
Yeah, mind your business.
Mind your business.
I looked it up. It's true.
It's true.
I looked it up too.
Out here?
I look up everything now. I believe I'm everything I get sent, everything I see. I'm like, fuck this. I'm looking it up because I don't believe nothing no more. You know what I mean? I looked that shit up immediately. You know what I mean? I was like,
hey, how can a nation be sovereign if the people ain't?
For real.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Oh, one thing I wanted to say real quick about the event. For those of you that are not aware, the reason why Jaleel is going to be a speaker is because I wanted him to be a speaker. Are all you guys familiar with Jaleel's work as well?
Yes, sir.
No.
Yeah.
So he's fucking brilliant. His Instagram is Moorish Lighthouse _official. He has a way of just very, very calmly showing every single definition. He's like, in my opinion, he's like the closest thing to like how I teach. He's brilliant. He has access to a lot of really cool things. He teaches a lot of cool things, but what he specializes in now is what's called adverse possession. If you guys aren't familiar with it, he will be speaking about it a lot at the event. He has a whole humongous group of all sorts of different people, and they're getting free houses. What I mean by that is it's abandoned property. A lot of times it's not in very good condition. Maybe broken windows, maybe all fucked up. Maybe it was a crack house or a whorehouse, who knows? He actually moves into the property. His people move into the property. They clean up the property. They raise the property value in the area. No one has a claim over the property. They're building entire real estate portfolios through getting houses for free, literally full blown. And you say to yourself, oh, is that like squatting? No, adverse possession is only able to be done on property that has no claim. There's nobody there. There hasn't been anyone there. There's no claim. It lowers the property value in the area. Nobody gives a fuck. It's just dilapidated properties. And then after so many years or whatever, you fix the place up and you do stuff with it. There's actual a legal process that you can take, and you can actually get legal ownership over the property. You can literally get a title issued in your name or in your trust name legally through the processes that he's teaching. It's all based off of the same way we used to claim property at the very, very beginning when we had homesteading. And you're walking along and you're like, hey, this is a good place for me to put down some flags. And you claim that property, and then until someone else brings a counterclaim to your claim, you own that property. It's as old as the country is. It's some of the oldest. You know, it's the same way when you do a registered trademark. It's the same way you have to go when you do a registered trademark. You have to put it in the newspaper, and if nobody claims the trademark within 90 days, then they'll give you the trademark. But you have to go and put it in the newspaper, because if somebody else counterclaims a trademark, now we have a problem. This is literally like the bedrock of the entire ownership process of anything in this country, and it's as old as 1776, and he's applying it to property, and it's a really, really cool. And he goes into other shit too, but he's just a really great educator, and what he's doing is fucking insane. You think I'm cool for getting free cars? This dude's literally getting free houses left, right, and center. So I think he is just an amazing teacher. I think he's an amazing presenter. I think what he's doing is unbelievable. He has a really big heart, an amazing mind, and I wanted him to be, I think he's the perfect third addition to our event. And I hope you guys are following him on Instagram, because his content is phenomenal.
I've seen a few.
Will you guys be recording the event at all for purchase at a later date?
No. On purpose. And the reason why is because Jaleel posts shit all the time. I'm posting shit all the time. Cam's doing shit all the time. And we have to make this special and unique for the people who are paying such a large price to go to the event.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Anybody else got any other questions so far? Any ideas or things?
About the free card.
Wait, not all at once!
Damn it. Hey, is that guy ever gotten that client claim on like farmland or large, plots like that, you think?
He honestly has been doing this for a while. He's got a lot of shit popping. I'm not totally sure. Typically what I see on his Instagram is like small houses that are probably not in the best. These are not mansions, guys. I'm not going to sit here and say that they're ranches and mansions. These are like,
I actually know where there is a mansion right now that could be adversely possessed.
I'm sure there is. There's probably literally castles in the middle of Pennsylvania and shit. I've seen those where they do like the ghost. I've seen like, if you go on the ghost hunter channels, there's one that I saw where they were in like Pennsylvania or something, and they went to like an old fucking castle, and they were going through all the rooms, and it was like really fucking wild and creepy. Good luck trying to adverse possess a whole fucking castle. I don't even know how that would work. But I mean, fuck it. With everything that's going on in the world, I mean, nothing shocks me anymore. But my point is like when I think of a lot of what Jaleel's doing, in all honesty, I think of like a Flint, Michigan kind of situation where you just have rows and rows and rows of just abandoned properties. Now, I was on a show with a real estate investor or a real estate salesperson a few days ago. It hasn't even been released yet. And I told her, I said, if I was a real estate investor or a real estate person, Gary, Indiana, I just saw someone exactly. What I would do is I would go and plan out, let's say there's a whole zip code and it's just all abandoned houses. Well, what if you got 30 or 40 or 50 people and you create a trust and you all plan to move and adverse possess like 80 homes all at the same time? You could have a whole fucking real estate portfolio. You guys just created your own little zip code. You guys could do fucking land patents and all this crazy shit. You have a whole portfolio, and then you literally just resuscitated an entire sector of an entire city. You can start donating to local fire departments. You can start creating political whatever, and you just literally got a whole city for free.
Let's go. Let's go.
I'm down.
I'm down.
I'm down.
So there's a lot of cool things, but this is not. Yeah, this is not like I don't think this is like, oh, I'm gonna go get a mansion in the Hollywood Hills for free kind of a deal. Someone has claim.
You're building
Someone,
it up.
yeah.
You're building.
Someone has claim to like a nice house. Like even though there's nobody in it, there's probably some kind of a claim. And if you move in within a couple of months, someone's going to come along and not be too happy about that. This is not that kind of a thing. I suppose if you looked hard enough, maybe you could find some super weird, off the beaten path building that's completely fucking abandoned that you could adverse possess, but that's typically not what I see on Jalil's stuff, so that would require a lot more hunting and scouting, but I suppose anything's possible, especially in this new world, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I wanted to see, will you look at my docket with me real quick, bro?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, so this is what's going on, bro. So, what happened? So these fuckers, bro, what ends up happening is I turn in my amended complaint, right, on the 3rd of February, okay? They didn't answer in 14 days. So I gave them a little bit more time and waited till March the 11th to file for a motion of entry default. And they immediately answered, bro. Or wait. They immediately answered, bro. And then I just went ahead, since they answered, I went ahead and just hit them with a motion to strike their amended complaint. And then, so the judge went ahead and she fucking, look at what this shit says, bro. I'm trying to get there quick. Look what this bitch says. She puts in an entry. What's she put in the entry for? She puts in an entry for advisement. That advisement, what that means? We finna start going
for a hearing, right?
I guess so. Well, we finna go over they finna go over the hearing to see if wait.
Go back. I didn't get to read that order. Go back to that order again. Let me read the order.
Okay. Where is it? This one right here. Okay.
Slow down. So okay. Order issued. Move that. I got my ticket. Move that. How do I? Oh. Order issued by Magistrate Judge Julie A. Russo, setting plaintiff's motion for entry of default and plaintiff's motion to strike answer to amended complaint on the under advisement calendar of 4/14. Defendant's response to motions due by 3/25. Who's the plaintiff? Are you the plaintiff?
Yeah.
So they have to answer by 3/25. And then under advisement calendar, I would just call the clerk and say, what does that mean under advisement? It means probably one of two things. It means either A, they're trying to figure out what they want to do and try to figure out what they're going to do, or B, it means there's going to be some kind of a hearing, but it probably just means they're going to, they're going to have to rule on it. They're going to rule on it by 4/14. And the defense has to, so basically she's giving the defense more time to respond. But I actually saw in my private group.
I think she really talking about like, yo, I think okay, so this is what I'm thinking, because right here you see the scheduling. But what's crazy is that this is what they did, bro. So I hit them for a motion of entry of default. Where's that at? This one right here.
Open that up.
Yeah, I hit them for a entry of default. I went off on their ass, bro. I said, the defendants have wholly failed to plead or otherwise defend this action, thus forfeiting a right to contest liability in light of the defendant's egregious noncompliance and the clear mandate of federal
She's
rule.
not saying no to your motion. She hasn't said no, because it would say motion for summary judgment denied if she denied your motion. She didn't deny your motion.
No, I know. It's because I'm telling her, I'm like, yo, just forget what they talking about. I pretty much just told her what I tell her. I said,
but she's giving them until the 25th to respond. So if they don't respond by the 25th, they're definitely going to default. But you said that there's already an answer. What's their answer? Let me see it. Or they put in a motion to strike, or who put in the motion to strike?
Me. I put in a motion to strike on their bitch ass. Look, on paragraph, look what they did right here on 35, bro. In response to paragraph 41 and 47, defendants admit. Where is 42, 43, 45, 46? Where's that all at? What do you mean? You're not even going to answer to it now? Look what fucking 42 says. 42. Imalike stated, we've asked you for your identification and you don't want to give it. Imalike indicated plaintiff was operating a motor vehicle with no valid registration, which he deemed impermissible. Imalike called Portland registration fees greedy and said they offered nothing in return. Plaintiff
Who's Imalike?
Imalike is the cop. Plaintiff educated Imalike that registration is for commercial privileges, not necessary for private travel. Plaintiff stated no driver's license is required when merely traveling. And then why y'all skip
This is an affidavit?
This is my amended complaint, Papa Bear. So
that's the amended complaint, and then that's the response on the right hand side. Admitted. Okay,
Yes.
so you would do so you would filed then.
Look, I hit for a motion of entry default because they didn't answer in time. They playing games with me and mine. So then they answered right away. Soon as I did it, oh, we better hurry up and file this now. He's moving for entry or default. So I said, you know what? I'm not trying to hear nothing y'all talking about now that you wanted to answer. Y'all already done messed up.
But wait a second. The motion to strike is in there before their filing. Why was the motion to strike was on the docket? It's before. It looks like it's before.
16.
Oh, that's so weird. Why is it 15 below 16? That's so weird.
I don't know. But then
I get it.
So then I hit for their late
you're saying
filing.
so you're saying motion to strike, and then you put in here they didn't answer 43 through 46.
One of the elements right here, plaintiff's amended complaint in service. I added it, and then their obligations to respond within 14 days. Defendants neither answered nor moved for an extension by the February 17th deadline. Over a month later, the defendants filed an answer to the amended complaint with no accompanying motion for leave to file out of time nor explanation. Prejudice to plaintiff. Plaintiff has been forced to expend resources and time preparing these motions for default due to defendants' disregard to clear procedural deadlines. They know what the deadlines are. Sit here and play with me. I shouldn't have to be calling you out. You know how this goes. You're licensed.
So typically, according to Joey Kimbrough, because again, he knows a lot more about this than I do. I just kind of go off what he says. So typically, the courts want to see you kind of play nice. Default judgment is typically pretty rare. Joey Kimbrough has seen people literally file in 2 or 3 months late, and the court will still pick it up and move forward with their answer. So it's just kind of the way it is. Now that sucks, but it's also good in a way because it's probably like that to sort of cater to people who aren't as aware of how all these things work or whatever. Again, you can press any claim you want, but typically I think it'll probably go over better with the court if you're a little bit more willing to give them time to defend themselves, and you're a little bit more playing nice, quote unquote. According to everything I've heard from Joey, the courts like to see that kind of thing. So even though, yes, you should press these claims, yes, the 14 days is correct, yes, everything you're doing is fine, you can continue to press these claims, I wouldn't go fucking ballistic necessarily. I mean, you can, but it's up to you. It's up to you.
No, I like to play cool. I don't have no problem. Go ahead, Sean. What you got? What you got, Sean? Sean.
Copy that. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Sorry. Thanks, Cam. And hi, Brandon. It's good to see you, bud.
Hey.
Typically on a motion for default, there's a grace period of 10 days, so they get extra time after you file the motion for default. And then under advisement rulings could take a long time. Basically, it's under advisement, and so they can drag it out. I had an under advisement ruling take only a year and a half. So it can go a while. So I agree with Brandon. You want to play nice, but I also like your style of, hit first, hit fast, and keep on hitting, kind of Marine style, because you want to hold the court accountable to process, right? So if you're following the rules and the court is not following the rules, you got to give judicial notice and say, hey, man, you're not following the rules.
Right. Straight up. Thanks for that. Good stuff.
I think you should hit it hard too, Cameron. Like,
well, I don't want to be too rude with it.
well,
you know,
no, it's not rude. It's hard. It's no, I want summary judgment, and then let the judge deny that. Now everyone knows you're serious.
Well, if you wanted to do it right in the middle, if you wanted like more of a sweet spot, it would be, Your Honor, with all due respect, that the federal rules of civil procedure states 14 days. And then you would also say there's actually the local rules. If you look at the very top of the local rules, it says that local rules are law. So basically what's happening is that the way I would do it, if you wanted to be nice but stern, is, Your Honor, the local rules, if you, especially in a hearing, you would say, Your Honor, with all due respect, the local rules are considered law in this court, correct? Yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Wilson. Okay. Well, the federal rule of civil procedure does state blah, 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 blah. That's how, if you wanted to be stern but yet polite, that would be, in my opinion, kind of the way you'd roll it out, because the local rules in their world, local rules are law.
Well, you see what I did? This is my motion to strike, and look what she did after the motion to strike. I said, schedule, if necessary, a hearing to allow plaintiff to submit affidavits, declarations to establish damages, injunctive relief, and other remedy requested in the amended complaint. And boom.
Yeah.
But Ken, you also have to file a separate motion if you want a hearing. You have to have a motion for order to appear.
Okay.
For all parties to appear, because they have
Typically,
to.
For a hearing, though.
You can always request a hearing, but typically the whole reason for a hearing is because the pleadings have not clarified the entire situation. If your pleadings are clear and your answers are clear and their answers are fairly clear, then they may not schedule a hearing. They're going to say it's just not necessary. And then so think of it from the court's perspective. They're trying to not necessarily just give everyone a hearing. Obviously, if you don't request it, you won't get it. Fuck you. But if you do request it, they're going to look at and see, like, is it really necessary, right? That's what they're going to be looking at. And the thing is that the problem with requesting, if you've got them on their back foot and they've already fucked up a bunch of stuff and they're trying to answer, like, for example, I've never had anybody try to answer any of my complaints. They always file for motion to dismiss for failure to state a claim, right? So the fact that they've even answered is pretty wild, because that means that the case can move forward. They didn't file like a 12B6. They didn't file like a motion to dismiss the case. So the thing is that you've already kind of, like, they're already playing ball. They're already willing to move this thing forward. You kind of got them on their back foot. They already fucked up by not responding. So it's kind of one of those things where, like, from all the people I've talked to, typically when you're winning, it's typically not the time to be like super loud and boisterous when you're winning. And that's just from like a lot of the people that I've talked to who have won cases. Typically when you're winning, you're more quiet. When you're losing, you get louder, right? So that's kind of like...
So then just be a little bit more subtle, let everything just kind of flow, slow it back down, right? I've sped it up real quick. I put in an entry default. They immediately answered, rectifying and showing that they made a mistake, or they wouldn't have. They didn't ask for an extension of time. They didn't
ask for a dismissal either.
Yeah, and well, I'm just saying the aspect they know they really can't. I mean, they literally got their guys admitting everything that they did.
So you got to think too, is just because you're not going to win the case in fucking 10 seconds, that's okay. Because now, if the case can move forward, they've answered the complaint. Now let's move forward into the fucking discovery. Now let's start getting some depositions popping.
Yes.
That's
asked for a dismissal at the end of the answer. They asked for it to be dismissed.
it's an answer. It's not a motion to dismiss. It's an answer.
At the very end, they asked for the dismissal. In their word for clause, they say they want it dismissed.
That's standard, though.
I mean, I don't think that's standard, because everything that I've ever seen is all a motion to dismiss. That's not a motion to dismiss. That's an answer.
It's not a motion to dismiss, but that statement at the bottom of an answer is a standard answer.
But
You
they
see that
they also have
very
to
often.
file a separate motion to dismiss.
I'm pretty sure Sean's right. I'm pretty sure Sean's right.
Excuse me. One second. Excuse me, please. Defendants respectfully demand a jury trial, y'all.
Is there anything there about dismissal? Because jury trial, that sounds fantastic. What's the problem with that?
Nothing. They're demanding a jury trial. They're not asking for a dismissal.
Yeah, so you're you're over here, and you're fucking
Must be
getting
great.
fired up. I mean, this sounds fantastic. I mean, I think everything's going just fine.
I would file a motion to initiate discovery next, like ASAP. That would be the next thing. You want to get into discovery at this point.
Yeah,
I agree. I think Sean's right. I think because think about this. Do you want? I mean, I'll tell you right now. I've said it a million times on shows. I've said it a million times talking to people. If I had a choice between winning a bunch of money or going into discovery and getting 8 million fucking questions to answers that I'm trying so hard to dig, and it's going to take me fucking forever to find it. If I had a choice between advancing my research in a year in a week because I was able to depose somebody, I'd be willing to just don't even pay me. I just want the goddamn information.
Hey, well, guess what? I got some information for you. I've got the whole the 0% package. It's $13,000, but I'll give it to you right now for the low price of $3,600. You let me know if you want to do a transaction here, and we can make that work. What do you think, Brendan?
The fuck are you talking about?
Oh, gotcha. Look at that. No, yeah, okay, so let me show you what just happened, bro. So
quiet, Cam.
Yeah,
I'm like so confused right now.
It's okay. Let me show you what's going down. So what ended up happening is this week I had a guy. His name is James. He came through and he hooked us up, bro. He was just like, we're talking, and I forget even what we're talking about, but we got over to Avery. And when we started talking about Avery, he said, well, bro, I got that whole package, bro. I said, no, you don't, bro. He said, yeah, I do. I said, quit playing with me. He said, yeah, I'll upload it for you. I said, oh my gosh, bro. Now, if you're not understanding what's going on, TZP, I'll show you what's going down. So with them, I had already emailed them a while back ago. And this is the email. You can see August 30th, 2024. And I asked for this trust process and more information. And they said the price for this service starts at $13,500. Well, here it is right here. That whole thing, $13,500 right here, Papa Bear. What's up? You want this? You want this?
I mean, I teach all that in my course. I mean, it's not that hard.
I know, but there's just some extra tidbits in here because they done got it to where they pulling off that $14 quadrillion agriculture lien. They got offsets on that bad boy, UCC 1 and 3 assignments on that bad boy. Like, they be hitting, bro. TZP, my nigga Avery over there at the 0 percentile. Yeah, that's he hitting it. I got the whole process. So if you want it, it's a $13,500 course. Do you want it for free or no?
I mean, look, I don't like, if someone's trying to sell something, it's like I don't, it's like I don't want to take free stuff from somebody who's trying to sell something that somebody might have gotten or whatever. You know what I mean?
I guess I feel you on that, but when it's provided for free, it's already out there. It's already out there. So what do you want me to do? You want me to go sell it to somebody else or just keep it to myself?
No, I just, I have a lot of mixed opinions about all this stuff because I think that if you've got $14 quadrillion fucking agricultural liens and UCC 1s and UCC 3s, then I just don't understand, personally why you would need to sell something for $13,500. It just doesn't make sense to me. If I had a 400 quadrillion fucking, agricultural lien and all this stuff, I mean, what is $13,000 going to do for you? Who gives a flying fuck about $13,000 fucking dollars? You know what I mean? I don't know.
I do get what you mean on that, but
and the thing is like, people show all this stuff and they show all this stuff and yeah, we got all these papers and yeah, great. Oh yeah, it's all great. I don't know about all this stuff, bro. I mean, I'm sorry. There's a lot of people that do a lot of shit and they show shit and they flash shit around and I'm over here, bro, I can't even get past a fucking motion to dismiss. I've been working on it for a goddamn fucking 14 motherfucking months. I can't even get past the fucking dude. This shit ain't that fucking easy, bro. I'm sorry. It just ain't that fucking easy, bro. Oh, it's so fucking easy. Look, El Publirium Unum, United States of America. I don't know, bro. I mean, anything's possible. I'm not shitting on people. I don't know. I just don't know.
Oh, wait,
man.
let me tell you what's going down. So with Avery, I actually didn't. The way I found Avery's work is by finding this actual document. I had to go into the Maryland.
I've seen this document, and I get it.
to actually find this, and then that's how I actually found Avery.
No, I know, and it's cool, and it's, I get it. I just,
you see this?
A UCC. No. Stop. What is a UCC1? That's not even real, bro. I'm sorry. What is a UCC1? What is a UCC1? Let me just ask you a simple question. What is a UCC1?
Look at this. Look, what does it say right here?
No, that's all.
What does it say?
Someone's missing. Yeah.
With this notice, what?
Chris Hauser went to fucking prison for this shit. I'm just saying. Okay, let's just back up for a second. What is the definition of a UCC1 financing statement?
I don't know. You tell me. You know more than me on this.
Do you know? Do you even have a guess?
Man, I know that you're establishing and putting things out there on the record, making claims on certain aspects. I mean, that's the main core principle on it. You putting a statement out there in the commercial realm that yours is yours. It's like a notification. It's a notice of some sort, right?
Not, sort of. So I'm going to explain it. You ready?
Yeah.
So first you have a security interest. So let's say you have a lawnmower, okay? Or let's say the computer that you're in front of right now, because all of you guys have either cell phones or computer in front of you. So I'll save it that way. Let's say I'm going to loan you 100 pieces of silver, but the collateral for you to pay me back is going to be the computer or cell phone device that you're currently watching this show on. We have a private security interest document with collateral, correct? And it'll say on there, like, if you don't pay me 2 pieces of silver per month for the next, 50 months, then the collateral, which is the computer or the laptop or whatever it is you're watching this on, will be taken to pay for whatever, right? Now, after you have a document or contract that shows a security interest in a collateral, you perfect that security interest by filing a UCC1 financing statement. So it's called perfecting a security interest. So the thing is, you have to realize that in order to file a UCC1, you have to have some sort of a debt, and then you have to have some sort of collateral. When I read these fucking UCC1s that people send me, it doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even fit the definition of what a UCC1 is, because the thing is that you have a secured party and a debtor. How can the debtor have all human bodies, arms, and legs? And then how would the secured party, how can that be collateral on what loan? Who has the right to even, it's all bullshit to me, bro. This is all bullshit. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't fit the definition. And honestly, I'd go so far as to say that, these either going to be ignored or people are going to start getting in trouble for filing false liens, but they're just so silly that I don't know. The way you're going to get in trouble for filing false liens is if somebody actually, like, if you file a lien on someone's home and then they go to sell the home and now they've been damaged because they couldn't sell the home because there's this false lien. Now you're going to get in trouble, right? These ones that people send me, they're so fucking stupid and they're so fucking silly and they're so ridiculous. I don't even see how they would even damage anyone. So they're probably not going to get in any legal trouble by filing them, but they sure as fuck aren't going to have any fucking real purpose. And then you say to yourself, well, a UCC1, it has like real actual monetary value. Yeah, it does, but try to sell one of these fucking things. No one's going to buy this shit. This isn't even, like, it just doesn't fit the mold of what a UCC is designed to do. A UCC is designed to perfect a security interest. That's all it's supposed to do. So I'm sorry to burst your bubble. People get excited. They see big numbers and they see big UCC filings. I can't get excited. I can't get behind it. I don't think it's real. And that's, that makes sense as to why they're charging $13,500 to put a goddamn motherfucking private trust together for you. Call me a fucking pessimist. I don't know. You know what I mean? Tell me I'm wrong. I don't know. But that's where I'm at with it, guys. I'm sorry to burst anyone's excitement, but that's where I'm at with these things. So,
you never burst, Daddy. But I have a question. So I thought that a UCC was where you're filing that you have security interest in your, say, your all caps name, your principal.
Well, stop for a second. Stop for a second. A UCC1, you already had security interest. A UCC1 is for perfecting a security interest that was already there. So you have to have the security interest first. That's the first, it's a two-step process. Step one is you have a security interest in something, right? Step two is, hey, I have a security interest and I'd like to perfect it. And you look up the definition of a perfected security interest. The definition of a perfected security interest is basically a security interest that has been registered in a way to make it to where you can take legal action. So basically, it's very simple. A security interest has no teeth. When you perfect the security interest, it's like you're giving the security interest teeth. You don't need to perfect a security interest if you don't want to. If you want to give the security interest teeth, you have to file a UCC1, but there has to be a security interest first.
You're making it public.
Yeah, you're making it public, right? So like if you go to court, you can file into the court docket and say, oh, we had a security interest. And at that point, it becomes like it was never perfected. So like, yes, it's valid, but it's valid even more so when you perfect it. That's why it's called a perfected security interest.
It's like a public notice.
It's sort of like a public notice, yes, but it's sort of like a public notice. Yes, I guess that would be. The goddamn thing was already there. The goddamn thing was already there before you filed the UCC1. If the goddamn thing wasn't already there before the UCC1 does not bring anything into existence that was not already there. You guys have to understand this. The UCC1 perfects something that was already there.
Yep.
If it wasn't already there, then you can't file a UCC1.
That makes sense.
That's all it is.
A default judgment or something on a loan that
now you have a security interest when you have a default judgment. Once the court gives you that judgment, you take that judgment and now you can file your UCC1. The goddamn thing was already there. You see?
Can I jump in real quick?
Yeah.
So I want to go back to Cam's case because I like what you're saying, Brandon, about, you want to initiate discovery because you want them to show you their hand. They're going to have to show you everything they got, okay? Also, what Brandon talks about is filing a bill of particulars. And that's where you get to ask them all the fucking questions you want, and they have to answer them, right?
That's an interrogatory. That's an interrogatory.
Well, how's that different from the bill of particulars?
I've never taught bill of particulars. I don't even know what that is. What you just said is an interrogatory. You have interrogatories and depositions. Those are just two things. Yeah, and you have requests for production. Requests for production is like documents and papers and originals. Like for me, I'm interested in, I want the original note with any endorsements for all my stuff, right? That's what I'm always asking for. They never give it to us, but it's super weird. They'll never give it to me when I ask for it in fucking court, but then all my people run out and ask for it just off the cuff and just normal, and they fucking give it to them. So I don't know what the fuck is up with that. But anyways, request for production, documents or physical evidence or papers, depositions, which is asking people questions in person on camera, and then you have interrogatories. Interrogatories is when you have questions on paper written, and then those questions on paper are submitted to be answered under oath in writing. So you can use all three of those tools. There might also be other discovery tools that I'm not super aware of. You can also go and you can also ask for, do a little research and see what other kind of discovery tools. But I mean, hell, if you're going to get into all this, I mean, look, I have a little bit of a different opinion about all this stuff. My opinion is, if you can get in there and you can ask lots and lots of questions And the answers to the questions are not just going to help your case, but they're going to help everybody. Like, okay, when I get this ticket, where does it go? When I get this ticket and I pay for it, what does the police station do with the fucking money afterward? I don't know. I started asking all sorts of fucking questions because the thing is that, yeah, these answers may help your case, but like, bro, it's bigger than that. Like, fuck, you get into discovery, like, it's like getting, I always say in a lot of my fucking courses and a lot of my videos, it's like being issued a badge, a shovel, and a gun by the fucking judge. Like, I don't even care about my fucking case anymore, bro. My case can go fuck itself. I've got 9 trillion fucking questions just for me. Just for me personally, you know what I mean? So like, I have a little bit of a different opinion. I think it's actually healthier and better, and it'll come off better. And I think you'll get more done if you think about like, well, fuck, I've got a badge and I'm a detective and I've got access to all this information. I'm gonna dig, fuck the case. I'm just gonna dig like a fucking madman until somebody fucking stops me at gunpoint. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, and the point there is, Brandon, is that you're now establishing case law, right? So you're going on the record, and so digging and plowing and all that stuff, all these great metaphors. You're literally making a new road for somebody else to follow you in, right? So
no, not if the case law. So if it's at the basic level, it creates what's called presumptive authority, I think is the exact term. Case law is not made until it hits the appeals court or above. So if it never hits an appeals court for any reason, it doesn't actually become case law. It becomes like one step below case law. It can still be referenced, but it's called, I forget the exact term. I think it's called presumptive authority. It's not quite case law yet, right? It's, let me see if I can find it here. I have it on my website. Joey, I learned about this. Okay, here it is. It's called persuasive authority. That's the exact term. So you have case law, which is made at the appellate level or the appeals circuit court or whatever, or the Supreme Court, the state Supreme Court, or the U.S. Supreme Court. If it doesn't get to one of those upper courts, and the whole case, if you go through discovery and you win and everything, yes, you can place it on other cases. Yes, you can use it, but it's not case law. It's persuasive authority.
Can be used or not mandatory.
So at that point, it's sort of like, hey, look, these guys over here in your fucking district, it's a lot more powerful in that district too, by the way. If you use a federal case that never got to appeals or whatever, you use it way over here in a completely different circuit or district as persuasive authority, its persuasiveness is going to go down. But if you use that persuasive authority, like for example, if Cam wins and it never goes to an appeals court or whatever, then what's beautiful about that is that Cam can now use his own case in his district over and over and over again as persuasive authority. And now it's going to make him be able to win more and more and more in his area. And that's how this whole system was developed, to try to control. They don't want people like Cameron Wilson to go to the U.S. Supreme Court and create something that fucking spans across the whole goddamn United States. So it goes both ways. They try to keep control. I'm not saying they're all evil either. I'm not trying to say they're all evil and they're all trying to prevent us from that happening and all that kind of thing. It's just, again, you got to think from their perspective. They're also thinking like mass fucking chaos. If Brandon Joe Williams wins a fucking case, the whole goddamn country is going to fucking explode and go apeshit crazy, and everybody's going to be fucking, no one's going to be paying any fucking bills anymore, and the whole goddamn economy is going to fucking explode. If Cameron Wilson fucking wins a case, everyone's going to be fucking smoking crack and going 200 miles an hour down the freeway in a fucking jalopy with 3 wheels, and they just, in their mind, they're thinking like, sometimes, like, you can even read on the Supreme Court's website, it says right on there, like, we are mainly concerned with the public interest, overall public stability, stuff like that. They say it right up. So like, even though you might be right, and even though you might be lawfully correct, the problem is that, we've kind of lost some shit to such a degree. We've lost the republic to such a degree that they're also thinking like, well, fuck, if we allow this, it's even though it's right, even though it's lawful, even though it's constitutional, it's going to cause massive nationwide chaos And so, you know, you got to think like they're not evil necessarily. Some of them might be. They're not crazy necessarily. It's just that like we've let this country go so bad for so long that like a huge, massive constitutional break in the right direction would cause massive chaos for a short time. But it, you know, so like just keep that in mind when you're going through all this, that like they are trying. That's why everything's so slow. That's why it takes 2 fucking years to get anything done in the courts. The courts act as this like gigantic buffer, you know, too. And it's like, it's part of the process. It's part of the way everything works. And honestly, you got to think America has been under very, very, very heavy attack since the day it was fucking founded. And there's probably not that many cultures and countries that can say that we still have a good chunk of our country here after a long, long time of being under very, very heavy attack and infiltration. So the system does function to some degree. You got to realize that. And you gotta read more about them and try to put yourself in their shoes to really fully understand the situation. But a lot of times they won't let it get to the appellate or Supreme Court level because they don't want something like that to happen as well, because they just feel in their mind, whether it's correct or wrong, that it would cause massive social chaos, basically.
Yeah, they're trying to maintain the status quo, and that's why they dismiss cases, because they don't want it to go to appeals, because they don't want a precedent set then. I've got a case sitting in fucking appeals right now, my Amex case, November something, and not a goddamn peep since November. Nothing, not a fucking thing, you know. And they're probably nervous about it, maybe, I don't know, because the thing is the judge fucked a lot of things up, and it's in the appeals court, and it's all negotiable instruments. And basically, if you read my appeal, it's like, hey, I had all these unconditional promises to pay. Every single time I used my credit card, it produced an unconditional promise to pay. I don't know if they're thinking I donated these fucking things or abandoned them or what, but I surely didn't, and I'm here to state a fucking claim. All those fucking unconditional promises to pay are all mine. I had no fucking idea I was quote-unquote abandoning them or whatever the fuck they think I was doing. That's insane. Anyone with half a fucking brain cell, a psychopath, homeless fuck, smoking fucking PCP on the side of the road wouldn't do some stupid shit like that. So it's a strong case that, you know, for all I know, they're fucking sandbagging the ever-loving fuck out of it, and I won't hear anything for a fucking year and a half, 2 years. Is there a time limit on appeals for the appeals court to take it up?
I don't know. I'm still pretty new at all this, so I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question.
Interesting.
I took a case to appeals, and I was a day late here in Illinois. So if that helps.
Well, but that's on you, not them.
No, well, that's what I mean. There was a time frame that you have to put that in appeal in.
Right, but once you have the appeal in, my question is, do they have to address the appeal? You know, just like the Supreme Court, they choose the cases that they want to take. And if they don't take it, it can sit on the docket for forever, for years.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. On my particular one, I turned my appeal in, but I was a day late, so it was they didn't move on with it. They denied my appeal.
We had one of my appeals for one of my cases had that happen. So yeah, I'm tracking you.
Hey, Brandon, can you recap those 3 motions for production and interrogatories?
Well, you can look it up. I don't think you'll have a hard time. Type in, you know, what are the different tools used in a court case during discovery. It's requests for production, depositions, and interrogatories. Gotcha. There might be a 4th or 5th tool. I don't think there's probably very many more than those 3, but those are the 3 that I'm most familiar with. And if you look in Joey's cases, looking up Joey Kimbrough's cases is really, if you want to learn more about like negotiable instruments, I think my cases are a really good place to look. If you want to learn how to get more traction in the courts, which I've definitely struggled with, as you guys are probably aware if you've looked at my cases, if you're looking for more procedure and like getting traction in the courts, which I'm still trying very hard to figure out, and I will figure it out, and it's kind of just annoying. because it took me a long, like basically my situation is I want to talk about the merits. I want to talk about the glory. I want to talk about, I'm like Cam, right? I don't want to talk about local rule 8-3.2 that says that if I don't put a fucking word count at the bottom of the goddamn motion, don't fucking kill me, bro. Jesus. So like, you know, it took me a goddamn year of getting my ass fucking beat and being like, fuck that, fuck these local rules. I thought I knew better, you know? And, you know, as gay as it is and as annoying as it is, I finally had to wake up one day, take a deep breath and say, if I don't fucking learn this shit, this is just gonna keep going like this. Joey's totally different. Joey's like, I love this shit. Local rule 9-7-4-5. And these fucking bar card attorneys, they don't even know the local rules. And Joey's in there studying all the local rules and all he does is procedural shit. So if you want to learn that side of the game, which is really where you're going to get all your traction, you guys really should be looking up Joey Kimbrough's cases.
Right on. Thank you, Brandon.
Yeah.
You said, yep, straight up.
Look it up,
that boy gave that answer for real. Like, hello.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm not gonna lie. Oh yeah, look up my cases. Find out how to fucking lose a lawsuit in 10 days, bro. I'll tell you right now, because I was like, fuck case law, fuck the local rules. I'm just gonna go in there and fucking like, it was so funny. I just did a show with this police officer and I was talking about Cam and I said, Cam's like fucking Simon Bolivar. If you read about Simon Bolivar, the guy who liberated Venezuela, he was just like, fuck it, bro. I don't care if there's 200,000 troops coming over the hill. I will charm and gleam those motherfuckers to turn around and fucking march right back to wherever the fuck they came from, right? Like Simon Bolivar was just 100% pure fucking confidence applied, like under all circumstances, right? And it sort of like, that was me going into litigation, right? And I was like, oh, fuck case law, fuck this, fuck the local rules, fuck that. Yeah, big mistake, bro. Big mistake. But I learned the hard way, you know what I mean? Fuck it, you know what I mean?
Well, thanks,
but
bro.
Here I am.
We appreciate you getting out there and soldiering it for us, you know, so we can learn a little bit more. I think it is because as we go through this, like right now, like if I was just to say like, well, look at some of the procedural aspects in which we actually do have to apply, you actually see just how much goes into it. So like I haven't even hit them with a motion to strike the affirmative defenses. They brought forth defenses, but I don't think they're reasonable even. Their defense is to say that, oh, well, we just used reasonable force. There was no reasonable force that could be justified whatsoever. All of the aspects, even on their new one, I haven't even hit. This is for the old response. Then the notice of depositions, the interrogatory.
Well, real quick on that one. Real quick on that one. No, I want to say one thing on that one. So reasonable force should be defined. You should be looking up some case law and see if there's any talks about what that actually is. Because what the fuck is reasonable fucking force? Come on now, what the fuck is that? You know what I mean?
And they did it to say that they were doing it for their safety when there was no indication of a requirement that I was fleeing. So that's what I'm saying. Like I can get into it really deep, but not yet. I think right now actually would be a really good spot to update everybody on my case as far as like a full video. Because all of these things need to be done. The notice of deposition, right? Let's just take a look at that. These I've already prepared, as you can, or prepared for over a month ago, and that's just so I'm always ready of notice of deposition, what I need to do on every angle, so that way I'm just, you know, always being prepared. Again, staying steps ahead. This motion to strike that I just actually prepared, the motion to strike for defendants answer as untimely. That was pretty quick. That was on the spot. But it's because I know that they made those issues so I could hit for that. But even if it's not going in the direction in which I would like it to go, as far as the judge, you know, abiding by the rules and saying, you know what, y'all aren't. And actually, y'all are skipping answers here and not answering these. And these are some of the most important points, especially when you have the officer, you know, straight up saying, yeah, I don't get the registrations. I think they're greedy and useless, baseless. Well, if you believe that, then what was the point of the initial stop based off of my placard in the first place then? If you truly believe that, then what is the point of the initiating stop? There was no point other than you going over the boundaries in which you know you have, and you tried to slyly get around that.
Well, keep in mind, all you need, just open up a new window on your computer, real quick. Open up. I'm going to tell you what this is. This is the answer to all your shit you're talking about. Type in rules of evidence. You're in federal court because you're on recap, so it must be a federal case, right?
Correct.
So go to Federal Rules of Evidence right there. Click on that one, and then you're going to go to Rule 301. This is the answer to every single question you've been asking me, and then just read that first sentence is all you need. You don't need all that other shit. Just that. Yep, that's all you need. Read that first sentence out loud.
Yeah.
Read that out loud.
In a civil case, unless a federal statute or these rules provide otherwise, the party against whom a presumption is directed has the burden of producing evidence to rebut the presumption.
So when you submit all this stuff in and you're the fucking plaintiff.
Hey, how are you?
Hey.
When you submit, so this was the huge breakthrough. Joey Kimbrough was the one who broke this. This is the bar card shuffle. Literally, this is the entire bar card 101. This is why people hate attorneys. This is it, bro. This is all they do all day long for 30 years, and then they retire. That's all they're doing. And the thing is you just did it. Go back up. Don't read all that. Don't read all. It's just a lot. Just that first. All you got to do is just read that first sentence like 100 times, bro. It says what it says. I'm serious. I'm not even fucking with you, bro. You have put the beauty about being the plaintiff is you're the one who puts forth the fucking presumptions. So you got to say, like, I even say in my shit now, this just broke in December. I even say in my shit now, in accordance with Rule 301 of the fucking rules of evidence, everything in this fucking declaration is now a presumption. Now they have to prove that it ain't. So the same shit the bar cards do to us, which is literally just 301. That's what they do, is 301. You can do the same shit to them, bro, and they don't even know which way is north and which way is east. They don't even know, because the thing is that what they do is they make all these presumptions, and then you try to defend yourself, and then if you're successful in defending yourself, they just come up with a whole bunch of other fucking presumptions, and they just do 301 over and over and over and over again. It's the same fucking thing we can do. We can do the same shit, 301, over and over and over and over and over again. You can assume Officer Efenki was a fucking transvestite, and he thought that you were a fucking conservative black male, and he was racist, and his penis, vagina, hermaphrodite fucking body had a fucking physical nervous system conniption, and you saw it when he was shaking, and he was violently shaking because he was coming down off of crystal meth addiction. You could see it in his eyes. You could do all. Now the thing is, you can't say that in an affidavit. You'll be going to prison. But in a declaration, you aren't swearing anything under oath. It's a 301. It's a fucking presumption. This is the bar card shuffle, guys. I'm telling you, the bar card shuffle. It's never write an affidavit, only write declarations, and then just 301 over and 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 over until the person gives up. That's all they do for 30 years.
Brandon, can I ask you a quick question in terms of that, which I'm tracking? On that document that Cam was just highlighting, it was in regards to civil. Would you say that that is the same case in criminal, quote unquote?
No, absolutely not. Read 301 again. That's why I said, dude,
it says
I've literally
in the third sentence.
Exactly. That's
word,
correct.
You know, yeah.
That's correct. It only applies to civil.
So when you're talking about the shuffle, you would say that obviously there's separate courts.
301 does not apply in a criminal situation. So everything I have told you so far about 301 does not apply in a criminal situation.
Thank you.
I say, dude, all you got to do is just read that first sentence of 301 over and over and over and look up all the fucking words inside of 301 and literally just repeat 301, the first sentence, over and over and over in your head until you have it like basically memorized. Because 301, dude, I'm telling you, 301 is literally as huge, as massive, and as important as the definition of the term naturalization. It's like, if I had a top 5 most important pieces of information, 301 would definitely be in the top 5 for sure.
Well, if we get into it, it says the presumptions in civil cases generally under the Federal Rules of Evidence, Rule 301, address how presumptions work in civil cases. It states in substance that FRE 301, quote, in a civil case, unless a federal statute or these rules provide otherwise, the party against whom a presumption is directed has the burden of producing evidence to rebut the presumption. But this rule does not shift the burden of persuasion, which remains on the party who originally had it. Key takeaway about FRE 301 is number 1, the presumption. A presumption is a procedural device requiring the party against whom it operates, the opponent, to come forward with evidence rebutting the presumed fact. 2, the burden of production. The presumption shifts only the burden of production, meaning the duty to produce some evidence to rebut the presumed fact. 3, the burden of persuasion. This remains with the party who originally had it. FRE 301 explicitly clarifies it does not shift the burden of persuasion. 4, application. FRE 301 typically applies in civil context where a law or the evidence creates a certain legal presumption. For instance, certain official records might create a presumption that something happened on a certain date. The other side must then produce evidence to the contrary.
Now check this out. Stop for 1 second.
Yeah.
Now let's say you're the defendant and someone else is using 301 against you, which is what everyone does. Every single traffic ticket is a civil lawsuit under 301. Literally everything is under 301.
Right.
Everything that you hate about the United States of America is a 301. Okay. So now open up a new tab or go back to the Federal Rules of Evidence and look up Rule 603.
Wow.
Really quick while he's looking that up, in terms of like traffic, obviously traffic is commerce, so a traffic citation
it's a civil complaint. Nope, it's a civil complaint. It's no different than Cam's lawsuit.
What if they're claiming it's a misdemeanor?
Well, that would make it criminal then at that point. At that point, 301 wouldn't apply.
Even though it is technically used, it technically is commerce if they're hitting you with that.
Well, yeah, but that's just the way that they do it. If they say it's criminal, 301 wouldn't apply. But the thing is that they want 301 to apply because 301 is what makes all their money. Okay. Now go back real quick. Go to 602 real quick. I'll show you. If you're ever fighting a 301 and you want to know how to defend yourself against a 301, a witness may testify to a matter only if evidence is introduced sufficient to supporting a finding that the witness has personal knowledge of the matter. So every single declaration that anyone ever puts into a case that says that they have personal knowledge of the matter, which is what attorneys are doing all the time, they're saying they have personal knowledge of the matter. Okay, fine. You have personal knowledge of the matter. Now go to Rule 603.
Just a heads up too, if they claim in their defense...
Well, hold on. Before testifying, a witness must give an oath or affirmation to testify truthfully. It must be in a form designed to impress that duty on the witness's conscience. So if the attorney says that he has personal fucking knowledge of what's going on, he has to put an affidavit in, otherwise it's inadmissible, right? So the thing is, an affidavit is considered evidence. So go back to 301 on the other tab that we had. In a civil case, the party against whom a presumption is directed has the burden of producing evidence to rebut the presumption. So if you get a traffic ticket and it says you were speeding, provide the evidence, an affidavit saying you weren't speeding. So if you literally do nothing more than just say, I certify under penalty of perjury that I wasn't operating anything. I certify under penalty of perjury that my vehicle is not a motor vehicle. I certify under penalty of perjury that I was not operating a motor vehicle for any sort of fee rate charge or other consideration transporting persons or property. And you just put it in as an affidavit is considered evidence. So go back to 301. So the burden to provide the evidence falls on the defendant, and you think to yourself, oh my God, what do I have to do? I have to provide evidence. An affidavit is evidence.
Facts.
It's the simplest fucking thing in the world. Facts. But the thing is that when they use 301 on you, it's super easy for us to put in an affidavit because we want to tell the truth. When you use a 301 on them, they'll never put an affidavit in anywhere because they're absolutely terrified because they're snake lawyer pieces of shit. So if they don't, when you put a fucking presumption on them and they never fucking put an affidavit on the record, but they only put in a declaration, you do a motion to strike under fucking Rule 603, because if they supposedly have this fucking personal knowledge of the situation, it has to be said under oath. The goddamn attorneys will never, ever, ever put it in under oath. So 301 stands, your presumption stands, and you win every single fucking time. They won't put a fucking affidavit on the record. An affidavit is like kryptonite to these fucking people. So all you got to do is dude, you could literally put together a whole fucking civil document about how every motherfucker down at the fucking electric company raped you. They fucking took you in a fucking basement and they raped you every fucking which way from Sunday, and they were sticking lit candles up your ass and everything else. As long as in a fucking declaration, and it isn't an affidavit, under Rule 301, it's a presumption. Now they have to provide an affidavit, which they never will do. You can literally just start making shit up and suing people, and you can start winning fucking cases.
Now, Brandon, you said we can't use 301 if it's a traffic ticket misdemeanor. Can we use 602 if it's that?
Well, yeah, 602 and 603, if you look at them, it doesn't say in a civil case. You got to think, if it says in a civil case, it's in a civil case. If it doesn't say civil or criminal, then it applies to both situations. Now, look at this. You want to see something even crazier? Open up a new tab. And I'm telling you right now, everything I'm teaching you guys right now, everything I'm teaching you about 301, 602, well, actually, go back to the rules of evidence real quick. Go back to look up 403, I think it is. 402, 403, 402. All of this that I'm teaching you right now is all Joey Kimbrough's. It's not mine, by the way. So real quick, evidence that is admissible, relevant evidence is admissible unless the following provides otherwise. That first one right there. Look at that one for you, Cam. You just start striking shit, bro. If they try to put in shit that's evidence, and it goes against the Constitution, you strike, motion to strike under 402, brother. Under 402. Brother? If you just start screaming, the problem is this, guys. We need to start learning these fucking local rules, because this is like, when you say it like this, you're basically translating it into a way that the court can accept it. If you just start hollering and screaming, it's almost like it hasn't been translated yet. So all you got to do is just translate it. And the way that you translate it is through these rules of evidence, through the local rules. But the rules of evidence alone, I mean, just what I've shown you guys so far, you can already see. You can start winning a lot of fucking cases, brother. I'm telling you. Now check this out. Open up a new tab and type in Rules of Professional Conduct 3.7. Lawyer as witness. Click on that first one, the American Bar Association. Now, this is the other part that Joey Kimbrough came up with that plugs into everything that I've taught you here so far. Check this out. Go down. What does it say? A lawyer shall not act as advocate at a trial in which the lawyer is likely to be a necessary witness unless the lawyers are always acting as a witness and an advocate at the same time. They can only do that if you don't know the Rules of Professional Conduct 3.7. When you call them out, they don't even know. Like it's like a fucking Final Fantasy VII video game, and you just casted fucking confuse on them, and it nailed perfectly, and they don't even know what's up or down, and they start attacking their own fucking people. 3.7, they can't be. So if they want to be a witness, 602 and 603, they have to start putting in affidavits. They're definitely not going to do that. Okay, if you're going to be an advocate, then everything you say and everything you submit into the docket can't be written in a way that expresses some kind of personal knowledge of the situation. It can only be expressed as an advocate of their client. So then at that point, all they can do, you're tying their arms and their legs. All they can do is basically just say, like, my client says this, my client says that, but they can't really do anything themselves personally. You basically handcuff them.
Now, when it says lawyer, you're talking about prosecutor, right?
Any attorney, prosecuting attorney, anybody. You could be suing somebody and they're the defendant and they have an attorney and they start pulling this shit and you just start banging on fucking 307, you start banging on 402, you start banging on 301. Hey, I put forth all these fucking presumptions. Where's my evidence? You see?
But these are all civil procedures, right? So that's even under traffic.
What I'm seeing real quick is what I want to show y'all, which kind of taps right back into Zeke. Is Zeke in here tonight, y'all, by chance? Does anybody see Zeke?
He was here earlier.
Oh, I did see him in here earlier, which y'all already know.
Where's the evidence? That's how it is. I'll say it for him. Where's the evidence?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know what he be talking about too, the motions in limine. And so when to apply the FRE 403, let's say in a civil case such as mine, because this is based on my shit, the most common time to deploy the FRE 403 argument is before trial via the motion in limine. When you ask the judge to exclude certain evidence, documents, testimony, photos prior to incidents, etc., because it causes more prejudice or confusion than it's worth. So that's how I'm saying I would apply it in mine. I mean, it's got more that goes into it, common reasons why to invoke it, the unfair prejudice, the confusion of misuse, the confusion of issues or misleading the jury, undue. But I wouldn't necessarily need that in mine, you know.
Isn't that rule?
That would be something they would invoke more than anything, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
I think that's rule 402 though, not 403 though, right? Is that what you meant?
No, I was checking out 403. No, I was checking out 403. And then we was going over earlier 301, which is the presumption tactic, right? To rebut or clarify the misuse of 301 or a presumption. But yeah, I mean, I guess we could use that in a certain aspect, but they're just going to be like on the lower statutory courts. They're not going to even try and respect that anyways. You got to pull it up even into the circuit courts for them to even respect that type shit. They don't listen to none of that.
Well, not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Hold on. So the strongest thing that we've actually been seeing is coming from Sarah right now, which from her coming with a fairly strong abatement, which we did this last abatement, I think, last Saturday, y'all? Did we do that
abatement. Woo woo.
Yeah, I think we did a badass abatement, bro. And I think she went in with this
was fired.
And literally got called sovereign citizen on the record, bro, like through an order. And so when we seen that, we was like, oh my, like you done set yourself up for a complete, you failed. Like you're done, you're recused. So we was talking about that earlier, but yeah, we got a notice and writ of abatement right now that's hitting so hard that they ain't, and I guess it's putting them to that aspect of the colorable proceeding. Everything's under colorable law with all of the aspects of just going through it all. But when we went through it last week, man, it was very powerful as far as, you know, putting them on notice to, again, we always got to rebut the presumption, but I think now we're noticing just how powerful also the judicial notice is, while also giving exhibits with all the case law due to the fact that Chevron's gone in conjunction with the protections that they just lost recently because of the executive orders. So I feel like when we're putting it all in that aspect on the lower level, now it's like, fuck, you know, like we've got, they just affidavit. Hey man, Steven, God damn it, get that mic. No, I'm joking. You know what I'm meaning though is that like we're getting to the aspect now where they really don't have no protection, and we're seeing how they're moving, and it's almost like they're intentionally putting stuff like that on the orders, such as labeling Sarah a sovereign citizen, which is clear bias. Like that's
well. Hold on a second. 301. Now keep in mind, when you sue anyone for libel or slander, you have to prove that you've been damaged. So like getting into all that is like difficult because you have to prove that the judge saying that. No, well, anyways, fine. But anyways, keep in mind, it's very, very simple. That's a 301.
But I want you to, but you say it's very simple, but you're not saying how to prove damages. So what damages would you say? And that's hard to prove. Because we got one term that we use.
You can say emotional, you can do all this stuff, you can go off on all that. It's not. Anyways, if you say someone's libel or slander has actually damaged you, have to prove damages, which I guess I don't know. I guess for me, I have a weird perspective on this because you call me a sovereign citizen
Hey,
and
I
everyone just
want you to
fucking
read
laughs.
this.
So you're not going to harm me.
Read this. Okay, you made me read something. Now you got to read this one.
Irreparable harm is a legal term that refines the outcome that can be adequately compensated or remedied by any monetary award or damages. Maybe. Yeah, I understand that. Okay. But still, like, you have to prove the damages.
Wait. Read the next one, please.
Irreparable harm is a necessary requirement for a court to grant a preliminary injunction or temporary restraining order.
Oh, we're getting somewhere.
So you guys write injunction. You guys write injunction for that? Okay. Now keep in mind.
Wait, what is this one? What's it into though?
Now I understand. Now I just want to say, fine, you can do that, but I think a less hostile, maybe possibly easier going solution is you've been presented with a 301. All you do is just submit an affidavit that has one line on it. I am Brandon Joe Williams, comma, the plaintiff, comma, is not a sovereign citizen, period. And then I swear under penalty of perjury, blah, blah, blah. So there's been a 301, there's been a presumption that's been offered to you, and now you're burdened with the evidence to provide that you're not that thing.
Right.
You provide the evidence, which is an affidavit saying that you are not that thing, and then now what happens is the burden of evidence now shifts back to them. And now if they do want to continue to pursue with the sovereign citizen thing, now they really have to prove it because you've already rebutted that presumption. They're just simply not going to do that. So the thing is, the whole.
But why not
no, it's fine.
Why not make them look stupid like one of our Ocasio Wilson did? I don't know. Is Ocasio in here tonight? Ocasio, you in here? Won't you unmute?
I'm just saying that there's two options, and coming from a guy who's been banging on this door for 14 months, I'm telling you, if I had a choice, I'd probably just write an affidavit, which I actually did in one of my cases.
Yeah, I would do an affidavit.
But I'm just saying, all I'm saying is that literally all they're trying to do is they're trying to use 301 to get you super fucking pissed off. Because when you get pissed off, you do stupid shit, and then they can call you, see, he's a sovereign citizen. See the way he's acting, right? All you got to think, 301, defense, affidavit. Easiest fucking thing in the goddamn world, bro.
So you talking about an affidavit like this?
Anything, yeah. I blah blah blah. I write a civil complaint. Cam molested me and my two kids. I don't even have kids. He molested me. I have two kids. He molested my two kids, and he molested all my friends, and he molested my friend's dog. That would be a 301, right? I literally don't even have kids, but because it's a presumption, if you don't rebut it, all of a sudden, factually, in that court case, I've got kids, and there's some dog which I don't even know about, right?
Yeah. So this is
all you gotta do is just write an affidavit. You don't need to go on and on and on for fucking 9,000. You just, I didn't molest this. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. Period. Under oath. That's it. You just. That's the evidence to rebut the presumption. To me, like you can go beyond that if you want to. I'm just saying 301 is why everyone hates litigation. And if you just fucking realize that you can combat a 301 by just saying, I didn't do whatever they 301'd you with, it literally handles the 301. It's literally like, you don't even have to get fucking nervous. You don't even have to get upset. You don't have to fucking get angry. It's literally
Douglas.
Fucking simple. And that's all I wanted to really make a point of. That's all.
No, you're good.
Isn't there an issue with all of this though? Because what we're talking about is civil procedures. Yet Cam and everyone and Brandon, when we get in,
this document is on
criminal. They call it criminal. They say criminal. It's criminal, criminal. They love saying criminal where I am, and most jurisdictions, even just a traffic ticket, right? It starts as complaint. I know all that. We all know it's civil underpinning it, but then they call it criminal. So now we're dealing criminal. So how much would it work in that, with that in mind? That's really my question.
I mean,
great question. I was thinking the same.
Where's the VC though? Who's the verified victim?
Yeah, criminal has to have some sort of a victim, and civil doesn't. I don't know. I mean, They
Period.
just say whatever they say and all this shit, and they go on and on and on about all this bullshit. I mean, it's civil. If it's purely financial, it's civil.
Yeah, right. And there's a civil component, so these things may very well work. I was really more asking just for input and thoughts, because I don't know neither. You know, I don't know.
And a lot of us are
Criminal
dealing with
and a criminal.
Hold on. I'm about to mute everybody up. Julie, what's up?
Okay, in Utah, if sovereign citizen was put on any paperwork, it's not. If any paperwork of mine in Utah, that would 100% execute my execution. That would solidify that every cop in Utah has the right to murder me on sight because of Chase Allen, the young man, the early 20-something-year-old young man that was killed near Bountiful, Utah. You pull up the videos from him. The second he was pulled over, there were multiple cop cars, multiple police officers, sheriffs, investigators immediately within like 30 seconds. That would be my death sentence. If sovereign citizen was put on anything to my name, quote unquote name, that would be my death sentence, and it would be justified.
I understand that, but you have to realize that's not, I mean, I hate to say it, and I'm not trying to be rude. You guys need to really, really start thinking more critically with this stuff. That's not damages. Until it actually happens, it's not damages. So the thing is, you can say, by doing that, I will be damaged, but until you are actually damaged, you don't have a cause of action. So you can say, if you put that on the document, I will be damaged, that would not be a liability or a slander suit. That would be thrown out immediately.
Right, but I wouldn't even be there to be damaged because I would be fucking dead. Straight up.
I understand that, but you also got to think too, the entire purpose of all of this is because a pre-crime society is exactly what we all don't want. A pre-crime society is a society where you can be prosecuted and you can be given financial or criminal sentences for shit that hasn't even happened yet. Okay, so I'm not trying to be mean, but you got to realize that's a request to create pre-crime civil injunction. So the thing is that, again, a cause of action is duty, breach, damages. So the problem with the situation is, thank God, by the way, I would not want to have a pre-crime society. Minority Report, the movie, is a pre-crime society. That is the definition of a pre-crime society. 1984, George Orwell's book, is literally the entire definition of his entire book is a pre-crime society, right? So you're saying, by doing this, I will be killed. But the thing is that you literally just said in that same sentence, I don't have a cause of action. And I'm telling you, as much as you don't want to hear that, as much as that might suck for you to hear and listen to, I'm telling you, if we lose that, the whole culture is going down the fucking tubes in like 30 fucking days. I'm telling you, we're going to have a Minority Report. The difference between a civilized society and a non-civilized society is the duty, breach, damages system that makes up a cause of action. So the thing is that you have to have real damages, and you have to be able to prove real damages. And that's why libel and slander suits are so difficult. And that's why you don't see me filing those kinds of suits on these judges that are all calling me a sovereign citizen.
Well, I wanted to address something Matthew just said real quick too, and Miguel, then if you want to come and speak. We taking that shit back though. That's kind of like the jump on that. Is that like we taking the name back because they've gone too far away from what we already know history to be. It's kind of like saying that the mound builders are people who they're not. Like, we've already dug into the mounds to know that they are a certain type of people. So for us to now in this age say, oh, well, they were these type of people, when we have bones to show they're not. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like that type of vibe. Like, I'm not going to let somebody take away what I know the meaning of the substance of that term to actually be. Whether it means something now different or not, I got a 1940 joint resolution that predates all this bullshit that y'all talking about, that talks about I'm the highest motherfucker on this land in my self-governing republic. I mean, how much better can you get than having sovereign citizen, which in my mind frame, in the context of that joint resolution, means sovereign free citizen, which is, in other words or context, American, who has a duty to do exactly what Troy has read 3 times tonight, which is to be uplifting, not giving malice, being a true patriot, a honorable creation of the Creator, and uplifting the morals in service. That doesn't mean you got to sit out here and abide by all these crazy ass rules in which they trying to have you jump through. That goes right against your life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's easy to understand. That's basic, natural understanding of logic. It's not hard. My whole thing is that all these other rules and shit like that, I get that. That's cool. Certain aspects they can apply. I just feel like they also relate to other aspects. Like the 301 would be applied to a motion in limine. Right? So we would just title it a motion in limine over here on the criminal side. Like people asking, well, if we can't use it and it's actually criminal in relation to the misdemeanor, well, what's the equivalent to that? Motion in limine. That's the equivalent. So,
well, the equivalent of that is that the presumptions don't the presumptions don't create a shifting of the burden of evidence. That's also useful as well. You would say in a criminal case, you would say, I understand there's been all these presumptions, but you would just say that 301 doesn't apply. So actually the person who's creating those presumptions is the one that has to prove them. You see the difference? That's all.
One other thing with Matthew's statement is it may bring some undue attention, but what it also does is it shows my actions. My actions don't represent a person that's out here financially scamming. A person that's out here financially scamming and doing terroristic threats and all that does not talk about God, does not talk about unity, does not talk about bridging the gap. They talk about fuck the police and we're going to hit these banks and run and we're going to do these financial scams and instruments. And that's what those people do. I don't do that. He said we got to bridge the gap and change the motherfucking laws with petitions in place. So they can never come to me and say, oh, he's one of those financial scammers or a sovereign citizen. It brings attention, but also the attention of it brings education and knowledge because people really getting to go back and look of what was a sovereign citizen in those times and how far have we come away from the truth. And that's really the point of it, is our actions make the changes. So if we continuously are doing what we're doing in this positive manner and really trying to get out here and educate. And that's why it's so important for us to get, that's why I put into the chat recently on the traffic law reform thread, y'all, for the scripts. We got to get out here and get in the streets, y'all. We got to get to these community meetings. We got to get to these tribal meetings. We got to get to any meetings and speak the script out so we can start putting the money. I can start putting money right now to print to start sending off. I've asked Brandon to sign. Brandon don't want to sign. That's fine. But we can get plenty. Here goes a letter that I've already developed. I have ready back in September when I initiated the traffic law reform. Let me see. Senators to send over to all of these people to start really getting some traction, man. Because this is how they do it. You know what I'm saying? They straight up get together. And all the people, they go and sign all of these documents with their, nationality, their groups and all that. And they demand in certain things. And then they get all the signatures down at the bottom. There'd be like 10 signatures coming from all the different type of representatives and senators and shit like that, right? All line itemed out. You dig what I'm saying? Now, this been drafted, but I ain't been able to send none out. That's what I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to get to the point where we're actually sending out these letters directly packaged, stamped, sealed, ready to go on beautiful, high quality paper. And I need to get the traction going. So the only way I can get the traction going is we really out there in the community start talking. Because then we get the videos, then we upload the videos, then it's like, damn, they really serious about this traffic law reform shit. They're reviving the New Hampshire right to travel bill, right? And bringing it back because we demand it. And that's the whole point of all this. We got to start demanding rather than requesting and get to action on it. And so, man, I don't know. We got about 20 more, 15, 18 more minutes for tonight. I know y'all want to go a little bit longer. I'm going to tap out at 9. I got some good projects I still need to tap in with some people on. But I just wanted to give the floor out for these last couple, 15 minutes to the floor to just, let me ask a couple people. Troy, did you find tonight useful, or did you find any value from tonight's Operation WISEDOME?
Yeah, hell yeah. I get value every weekend I'm here, man.
Anthony, well, let me ask Ty. Ty, how do you feel about tonight? I know you came in a little bit late, but.
Cam, this is always great information. There's so much here. I get overwhelmed, and I just love to come back and hear more and more and the same things over and over, because it takes me a while to put it all together. But man, it's great information.
Awesome. Alira, how do you feel about tonight?
Definitely quite an interesting night. Very interesting. Learned some things. Have some things I want to look up.
Yeah, for sure. What you want to look up the most right now? Some affidavit talk? Huh? What we talking about?
Oh, I love affidavits myself.
Straight up.
Procedure and Eddie Craig stuff. I want to practice some Eddie Craig stuff. And tonight was amazing, Cam, because we got a huge perspective. Every time someone talks in here, Brandon, thank you, dude. I love you, bro. You say a bunch of stuff, and we're definitely incorporating it regular, like you're presenting it, but it's also incorporating into here what we're doing. Everyone in this forum may or may not wind up in a courtroom, lickety split, or already is in one. This group, more than any group I've ever seen, is a group of warriors that appears willing to step into court, the very place. Don't go into their forum, and it's true, we shouldn't, except for that small percentage of us that say F that, we're fucking going in, bitches, and go fuck yourself.
Straight up, the best way to say
right.
it.
I get all humble and just go fuck yourself. Right, exactly. It's that's how it is, baby. So,
well, I'll tell you, at first it's
coming up
scary.
in the morning.
At first it's scary and shitty,
Yep.
but that subsides pretty fast, and once that subsides, it becomes a lot of fun, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Hooah, baby, hooah.
Quentin is a prime example of that as well. Quentin came in a little bit tense. I think even maybe Erica, that she's a good example, coming in very. Yeah, what's up,
It's
Papa?
funny. It's funny you say that, because I was riding my motorcycle today, and
Wait,
I was
say
thinking,
say motorcycle one more time.
motorcycle.
Oh, no, you didn't say like you did the first time. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I was sitting up while I said it. Motorcycle.
Yeah, that was it. There.
I was riding my motorcycle earlier today, and it was really nice out, and I was having a good time with my thoughts. And one of my thoughts was, I'm kind of getting bored with this case. Like, can it just get over with? I want to start suing somebody.
Maybe you should call it an auto cycle.
Well, I should
actually wait. Let's get this right. Let's do this. Let's get some justice going here. So we're gonna just type in here New Hampshire, right? And we're actually gonna look at this because this is actually really interesting. So motor vehicle. Where's the motorcycle definition? Motor vehicle.
Tropical cycle.
Is an interesting.
auto cycle, engine cycle.
Oh no, here it is. Right here in even the New Hampshire one, where they give us all the good juicy stuff that we need, it says automobile or motorcycle. Means any self-prepared conveyance used for non-commercial travel upon the public ways.
Keyword conveyance.
Conveyance.
Damn, I didn't even know that shit. That's crazy.
Yeah, bro. Wait, you ain't seen this? This is what our whole petition's going based on. So here, let me give it to you, Papa. This is the most amazing thing, dude.
You're gonna love it, Brandon.
You're gonna love this, bro. You're gonna be like, holy shit, this will open up a whole new avenue for you. Oh, yep, that's the one. Now check this out, my guy. The votes on this back in 2019 were 262 yays to 68 nays. It passed, my guy. This whole bill passed, my bro. So what you'll see here is, as we go back.
When?
In 2019 in New Hampshire. Okay, it's House Bill 507, okay? And what they do is this whole bill, tell me if I'm right or wrong, y'all. Does this bill, we've gone over it several times, does this bill not reinforce everything that we've stated and we do?
Sure, yes,
a lot of it. Yeah.
Sure it does.
All of it.
Every single thing. I'm talking about UCC 9-109. It goes into everything that Chief Justice Grimes declared that automobile to be private property deemed current through UCC 9-109 as a household good, consumer good. And look, what's even amazing is that before they passed it, they struck some things out. but they all confirm that you have the right to travel. Now, why is this, Brandon? Let's look at something that's pretty amazing here that most people just don't pay attention.
This is New Hampshire?
Yes, sir. Let me also give you something that's in
King?
every fucking state, bro, and nobody fucking pays attention to, and it's right under their goddamn noses. Now, we do know that the
New Hampshire?
statutes. So we do know that the statutes are colorable law, right? We do know that a statute, a code, a policy, a regulation, an ordinance is all color of law, and that the statutes on the higher realm through the states are all based on motor vehicle code and things of that nature, right? So let's say we're going to come into a memorandum that's developed in relation to just some deeper aspects here, and let's say we're going to search up okay. Let's say we're going to search up some aspects of looking directly into the municipal or county codes in which, let's say Scott Stackle. Y'all know, everybody loves Scott Stackle.
The legend!
The legend!
Absolutely.
The Eddie Craig Master. Yeah, Scott Stackle. Well, so we'll check out here in Pierce County, Washington. Highway shall mean any impervious ways, lanes, roads, streets, boulevards, or place in the county open as a matter of right for public vehicular travel. Sonoma County, public highway means the entire width, generally open to the use of the public for the purposes of vehicular travel as a matter of right. I can literally click a task where I just got arrested. Literally states, bro, their own shit, bro, clearly indicates highway for the purposes of this chapter open generally for the use of the public for travel as a matter of right. Like, you can't take it away. So the whole point that they're over here using statutes on a commercial basis against us when it don't even apply, when they, like, the police and the sheriffs aren't utilizing what their own policy is, like, in their counties. It's just, it's so egregious that it is nothing more than irreparable harm. It can be nothing more than irreparable harm because you're violating the own shit in which you're supposed to enforce for your city. So thereby, the city, to me, in my whole aspect, what it means is that we don't even have to fucking goddamn get them to say and call the goddamn sergeants or the lieutenants to get them on the record to say, is this a custom policy or practice? Because clearly it is. If you're just doing it to everybody and clearly it stays within your, oh my God, I'm done.
I got a new.
No, just real quick. I want to clarify one thing because he mentioned earlier that I didn't want to sign anything. So just, I get really, really deep into the minutia of everything, as you guys are probably pretty aware. The reason why I don't sign petitions is because I am pretty sure the only way that you can sign any petition that goes into the statutory system, you have to be a U.S. citizen to sign it. I went into this long rabbit hole about petitions and stuff, and I've had some people on the street stop me, and I'm like, well, I'm not a U.S. citizen, and they like read the fine print, and it says like only U.S. citizens can sign these things. So as far as I know, I can't even sign petitions and stuff like that, right? And I'm not trying to burst your bubble, because again, I don't think the courts or anyone is ever even going to get into any of that. I'm not even sure they would even allow that to even get into a court of law, because they don't even want anybody talking about that shit. But the thing is that just for me in my own little universe, I just don't sign petitions, period. Anybody. So it could be a petition to make Brandon Joe Williams the greatest podcaster, and there's a petition to fucking get me on Joe Rogan. I'm not going to sign it. It's just, I don't know if I'm allowed to sign it, and I don't want to, it's never going to be an issue. I'm very particular about things that I get involved with, and if I'm not sure if I can, I don't like to anyways. So it's just a weird thing for me, right? The second thing that I just wanted to mention, and I mentioned this to Cam the other day, I personally feel what underpins all the stuff that we're all talking about with all this stuff is the fucking certificate of title and the driver's license. And I just feel like when you have a certificate of title, the state owns your car, and they have more of a right to take that car away from you and to tell you when you can drive it and where you can drive it than you do. So the reform that's needed is a reform on multiple levels, because the reform is also like, well, we need to change the way that the security interest is when you go to the DMV. They don't tell anybody any of these things.
Wait. Because you said we need to change the security. Why not just change the attitude of the people? Why not just change the mentality of society to really come back to gratitude for the great creator? That changes it all. You don't even got to change the laws to have the people change how they start perceiving each other again, because it's all about perception. So if we get the perception and the attitude back to gratitude of life, then we get all the travesties of this, I'm just doing as I'm told. And it's more like, man, I'm not even worried about that dumbass shit that they get. It gets away from, I'm just doing as I'm told, to unity again. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like in this, it's like Quentin be saying, it's like, yeah, everybody, they getting their knowledge, they getting their education, but they also getting that strength and that empowerment. And in that empowerment, what that does is that translates energy out to the next person. And then that next person gets that energy and translates it out to the next. And it's just a symbiotic change, a chain reaction that just goes out. And that's here on this level, because we run this thing. If we don't work, if we just said we not gonna work all for a week, the whole nation shuts down. So we run this shebang. So it takes a unity, and all these traffic laws got changed anyway. All these.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't disagree with anything you're saying. I really don't. I get, like, it's funny because you have like 3 tiers, right? Tier 1 is Joey Kimbrough. Joey Kimbrough is like local rules, exact specific local. What is local rule 9-4.3.4? That shit drives me fucking crazy. Then you have me. I'm more like in the middle. I'm like, all right, I'll learn some of these local rules, I guess. But like, I want to talk about the merits of the case and the merits of the situation. And then you have Cam that's just like, God damn it, motherfucker. We're just going to ride into the fucking sunset and take every motherfucker. We don't give a shit about any of this shit. Fuck all y'all, especially the local rules. We're just gonna fucking, we're gonna come over the fucking hill. We're gonna be 1/10 the amount of people as you, but we're gonna be 10 times the amount of spirit as you, and you don't stand a fucking chance. So I think it's all important. It's all valuable. I try to, I try to kind of ride both angles at the same time. But the thing is that all 3 angles are important. And I think I'm starting to have a lot more. See, Joey, for the longest time, he would just let me ride into the sunset. And I would ride into the sunset and ride into the sunset and ride. And here I am 14 months later. I've never survived a motion to dismiss. Gotten my ass handed to me every single fucking time, right? Yeah. So now I'm starting to calm down in my old age, I guess you could say, a little bit. I've still retained all of that optimism, right? But then at the same time, I'm also working with fucking Cam because I see the way he operates and the way he inspires. So, I feel like all 3, I'm starting to have more of an appreciation for both of them. I'm starting to have more of an appreciation for Cam's way of thinking, which is the total opposite of Joey Kimbrough. And I'm also starting to have more of an appreciation for Joey Kimbrough because I've gotten in the goddamn UFC octagon for 14 months and I've come out with nothing but fucking broken bones every goddamn time. So I like to be kind of like that guy who likes to kind of sit in the middle and try to, just point out that I think all 3 are really important and valuable positions. And I think that we should always be trying. It's sort of like a video game. And all 3 are like, we can improve in all 3 areas all at the same time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. By sharing. Yeah.
I just wanted to, for Brandon, maybe something to think about. The way I try to think about the whole citizen thing. If you wanted to break it down like state citizen, federal citizen, right? If the state citizen has rights, like U.S. national, state citizen, whatever, you are that, right? Your birth certificate proves it. So that's something that you have that easily provable, right? But at the same time, you also have a federal citizen or citizenship, right? And that's your property. You own that.
That's correct. That's correct.
So you can utilize that because it exists, even though technically you didn't create it, right? Because it's hard to agree to a contract when you're like a day old. But still, not right.
Well, ownership means expressing a security interest in. So yes, you do. Okay. When you get into the legal definition of own, you do own it. Yes.
Right.
Okay. So even though you didn't create it technically, right? it still exists to benefit you.
Correct.
So
and you can always sign as the agent, and you can always do this kind of stuff. It's just I
get you. Yeah.
I'm not. I just that is gonna. They play stupid. They play dumb. They pretend there's not two people. You sign the fucking thing. I'm a little careful as to what I sign to as the agent until more and more people start to understand that this is the way it works. I just get a little nervous about it. That's all. I'm just like I said, I'm kind of in the middle. You know, I'm kind of in the middle between Joey Kimbrough and Cam when it comes to this kind of stuff. And I just, you know, that's just where I'm at. Right. So for me, I'm a little careful as to what I sign, even as the agent. And, you know, like, for example, I just won't have a driver's license. I'm just too nervous about there being a mistake as to who has the goddamn thing. So I'm just not going to have I'm just not going to have it, because I get that I can sign as the agent, but there's just so much confusion associated with it that it's just like, it's like fucking exhausting to have to fucking explain yourself 900 times and everybody just thinks you're fucking crazy. I'd rather just not have the goddamn thing. Do you know what I mean?
Better off without it.
I just want to say too that
we'll check in. Hold on. I'm about to end the recording. I want everybody to say thank you to Brandon for showing up, and if you just appreciate it tonight, just say what you need to say.
Thanks so much, Brandon.
Thanks, Brandon.
Thanks you guys too. I learned a lot hanging out with you guys too. It's you know, there is not a lot of places, and when I say not a lot of places, I'm not even sure I know of another one I can even mention where you can have these kinds of conversations like this.
Thank you, Brandon, for your wisdom and opposition.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, this is what Cameron is doing. This is something very special. I've seen a lot of groups. I've been invited to a lot of groups, and I'll tell you, I go into these groups and I just want to feed my skull into a fucking wood chipper immediately. It's horrible. It's awful. Honestly, you want to know the real truth? This group, and I hate to say it, and I'll fucking say it in my shit, this is way better.
Oh,
sorry.
That's a beautiful thing.
I know.
Cameron, just come be a part.
I'm sorry, but it's just the truth. I'm sorry.
Where you going to join the Discord?
Everyone here was in court.
So we'll see you Saturday then.
Julie's gonna kill me, I think. What did Julie say?
As members here that are members there, you won't have a litany here.
Well, the reason, okay, I'm going to be honest. Do you want to know why? Do you want to know why I say that? No, it's very, very simple. Let me just say one thing.
Wait. That's everybody. I'll say bye to YouTube if we can get eligibility to put it on YouTube. We'll figure that out. Hopefully, maybe not. But everybody say bye to YouTube.
Well, let me say one thing before you cut it for YouTube, because I don't want my people killing me. My people are going to kill me.
Okay. Well, then I'll cut that out. But everybody needs to say bye real quick, and then I'll start.
Bye, YouTube.
Bye to YouTube. Don't kill me, my group.
YouTube.